Started out alive, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the sight faded, had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing lost to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sipping Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the nice subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Tracking crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Give us a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the nice subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Scripts out, play a game, from start to next, I'm chasing fame. Put the year behind me, changing season. Through it and then living out the drink of my acoustic strum. Curing it chill for cracking jokes, go stop the thrill. And then the kiwis, we ride the waves. Our streams phone, no better days. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Monday, the 25th of August, 2025, and welcome back to the channel. If you've been involved in skateboarding in this country, in Australia, even if you've just been involved as a spectator at the very edge of the sport, or if you've been involved as a skateboarder, you would 100% have come across the work of Mr. David Pang, skateboard photographer in this country. I'd suggest the greatest skateboard photographer, period, but definitely the greatest skateboard photographer out of Australia. He's been at the forefront of this sport from the get-go. I mean, as a kid, I had photos on my walls from the magazines that was his photography. It was all through all the magazines, just he's a force to be reckoned with, and there's a podcast here on a channel called Mustard Flats. Mustard Flats. I've never heard of the podcast before. It's an hour and 49 minutes long. I do want to watch and react to the entire thing. I'm fortunate enough to call David Pang a friend through skateboarding. Just most recently in 2005, was it 2004? In the early 2000s, there was a couple of comps in Adelaide that I remember Pangy being at, and then fast forward 10 years later, up goes Facebook posts from the airbag landing jams, and he's got photos of myself. And I was like, man, I've never seen these photos. I'm honored that David Pang pointed his camera at me and took these photos. So much so that I got one printed epically on my wall. You know what? Let's crank up an NDI source camera and I'll show it to you. Let me pull up my NDI camera here and I'm going to show you exactly, but I will be off mic here for a second. This should bring it up though. Okay, so here we got a camera, but no microphone, so I'll just talk loud. But this photograph on my bedroom wall, that's a Pangy photo from the Airbag Landing Jam, West Beach 2000. 2004, I think. 2004. And yeah, I'm super psyched, super pumped that that's up there. And David Peng, yeah, when I saw that photo, let me put this back down now. When I saw that photo on Facebook, I was like, I didn't even know that existed. I remember you being there, but I don't remember you getting photos of me. I'm buying that off you. And he didn't even charge me. He would not take money off me. I wanted to offer him, well, I did offer him money. I wanted him to take money. He said, no, I'll send you the TIFF. I actually went down, he's in Canberra. I went down to Canberra a couple of months ago to shoot a gig. And I said, man, can I swing by? And my plan was to swing by and then give him money. But he was like, yeah, come by, man, we'll hang out. We hung out at his place for a few hours just talking shit, skateboarding, photography. He has a book coming out. It's going to be pretty big. It's going to be essentially the book that he's got that's going to be published on his 60th birthday, I believe. Yeah. It's going to be the chronicles of Australian skateboarding. It's everything. And he showed me a rough cut of it or a draft and concepts, and it is insane. So like I said, if you've had any connection to skateboarding, whether it be Australia or international, because don't forget the pros that came to Australia before anyone knew of Mr. Tony Hawk, right? We all knew him. He was always our guy. But the rest of the planet didn't know who he was until this game came out, the Activision Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Then the rest of the world caught on. They've been coming to this country for decades. And David Peng took all the photographs. So there is a chronicle of touring pros coming to Australia, the Australian skate scene getting bigger and stronger and better. And all of this is through his eyes on his camera. And man, like, when I sat there with him just talking, I'm not making this up. There's like a bro crush going on there from me to him. It might not have been from him to me, but it was definitely from me to him. I was like, dude, there's just like a never ending chronology of conversation. And we'd flip a page in his albums and he'd be like, oh, I know who that is. And then it's like, this goes to here, goes to here, goes to here. Did you ever go to that ramp? Did you ever go to this bowl? Did you ever skate with that person? Do you know this person? Oh, yeah, I've got photos of him. Flip to here. And this is the first board that he rode when he was in Australia. These are the trucks that he was wearing. And he has all that stuff. He has a house just lined with skateboarding paraphernalia, all the stuff. He had one thing that blew my mind. He had the board from that competition. He had the board that Pat Rhodes, so Pat had his own signature Omni model, which was the Cooper's logo, the Cooper's red. And at that comp, Pat changed boards out and he was going to just throw that other board in the bin. Pangy took it. Rhodesy gave it to him and he took it back. He took it back to Canberra and put it in his garage. And he now has the Pat Rhodes board, the Omni Cooper's red logo, which is highly trademarked, highly illegal. Pangy has that exact board that was ridden at that comp, and he's like, I'm just going to keep it just because it's Pat Rhodes. And like this means nothing to anybody else, but this means a lot to skateboarders. It's like saying, maybe imagine Tony Hawk's brother, and this probably did happen, kept some of his boards and just pulled them out 20 years later and said, by the way, this is a board you rode in 1983. The skateboard world would be frothing at that, right? Because it's Tony Hawk. Well, the skateboard world in Australia froths because Pangy kept everything, not just documented, but physical items from every genre, every era of skateboarding, including the small wheel baggy pants era, all that stuff. This dude needs to open a museum. Like 100% needs to have a museum. And I'm sure if there is ever going to be a museum, the bulk of the work will come, or the bulk of the materials will come from Pangy. Yeah, I'm honored to call him a friend, and he's a terrific dude. I'm not watched this yet. This is the Mustard Flats podcast with a woman called Sancho Murphy. I mean, look at this image of Hoysoy right here. Everybody knows that photo. Did you know it was a Pangy shot? I didn't. That's Mike McGill at Erindale. Mike McGill skating Erindale Banks. I mean, this stuff's rad, right? Like, so I don't care if no one's here with me today. I'm focusing a 2-hour period of my time to watch this podcast and react in real time. If you're here and you enjoy it, thank you. Give me a like and a thumbs up. I'm going to go and grab a coffee because we're going to need one. I'm going to get a cookie and a coffee. come back in, we'll chill out, we'll get through this. Here's some surfing, not skateboarding. I can't skateboard anymore these days. I'm too freaking old. I turned 50 in 4 days, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29th of August, I turned 50. I'm still looking for animal chin, but it's only up here these days, folks. No more riding around. I'm just surfing. So if you like surfing, here's a little clip. I'll be right back with a coffee. If I'm not back in time, you'll see a blowfly doing aerobics on a piece of styrofoam. Yes, you will. Well, okay. Got myself a coffee. A little surfing clip there. That's what I've been doing with my time lately, getting out there and trying to learn how to surf. Not an easy thing, not going to lie. It's a little difficult surfing, not like skateboarding. There's a lot of changes you make. Mainly, you know what I've discovered? Surfers, to be fair, surfers are pricks. It's not like skateboarding when you encourage the next person to skate well. Surfers don't want you to surf well because then they perceive that you're doing better than them, and they definitely don't want you to ride their wave. You know, like you're at a skate park and the ramp's always there for the whole day. Surfing, the waves are a finite resource, and so everyone's fighting for them. And if you're not as good as the next person, they make you know you're not good. A lot of elitism within surfing, and I never discovered that with skateboarding. Skateboarding's so different. All right, enough waffle from me. Here is the Mustard Flats podcast. This went up 1 month ago. It's only had 532 views. Let us watch the entire thing. David Pang, interviewed by Sancho Murphy. Full screen that shiz.
It's just like, this is just so bloody cool. You go, no, dude, you're on the cover of the magazine. Me. Yeah. It's just like Lee Ralph sort of schooled me on how to take better skate photos.
That's what I call beautiful chaos.
And these sorts of photos mean as much, if not more, to me than the skating photos. Sign away for 6 years and joined the military and learned to march and fire weapons and also learn photography. And they would pay me, myself as a creative director, Cons is the foreman, and everybody else is the hired help. I'm
This is going to be cool.
Photos even more than I used to, and just this want to share it with people.
Oh, sorry. Davo, I see you there, man. I didn't even acknowledge you. Sorry, dude. Davo on D Live. Hey, Gibbs, how you doing? Well, I'm doing well, dude. How you doing, Davo? Good to see you.
Welcome to the Flats for another episode. Special episode this week. Feature episode. We're partnering up with Sancho and the Dirty Laundry.
Mustard Flats.
And David Pang, the iconic David Pang. Welcome to the Flats. Legendary.
Oh, maybe a bit too much praise there.
No, well, it's been great. We, a few weeks ago, got to explore your...
That's the book. That's the book that we were looking at when I was down there. This book is just so detailed.
Well, it's been great. We, a few weeks ago, got to explore your collection in your archive of photos. We put that out yesterday, so people have been watching it and loving it, and the response has been awesome. So really cool to see the comments and everything. So we'll touch on that today a bit more because
Definitely.
We've got so much to talk about, and yeah, it's going to be exciting these new episodes with Sancho. So thank
Great
you
idea.
for coming in.
So good.
Thanks for inviting me.
And yeah, what have we got here for a start? We're going to take a look at a few things today. We got you post a lot of your stuff online, so we can pull up stuff. But yeah, you've also got some of the collection here.
Well, whether I start a new trend, but another.
By the way, can I just make a note here? This is now the second or third thing that we've seen online that's using purple. I mean, I chose purple as my background color. Oh, wait, hold on. Why is my NDI camera on? My NDI camera's been on the whole time. Let me turn that off. Sorry about that. The purple coloring here in a scene like this. I'm live. Man. Oh my God. That's it. I'm getting a lock for that door. That's it. I'm getting a lock. Apologies for that, folks. So what was I saying? Purple coloring, purple. So I chose purple as a color for my streams. And yeah, I don't know. I just chose it at random. And I've been watching content and seeing a lot of people with that purple color. It's crazy. It's just a notable thing.
The podcast that I look at fairly frequently is the Skateboarding nine.
And sorry, I just missed everything that Pangy said because I've got interrupted and I'm just pissed off. Sorry about that. I'll go right back. This is going to take a long time to get through. Okay.
What have we got here for a start? We're going to take a look at a few things today. We got
Also, sorry, just a side note, I've got a kill switch. I activated it then, but I also realized that the kill switch doesn't kill the microphone, so you can still hear me, right? And also I spelled something happened wrong. Something happened. So I've got to work on this kill switch also killing the microphone because I was a little pissed off back there and unfortunately it went to air. So there's that. I'll fix that in my own time.
You post a lot of your stuff online, so we can pull up stuff. But yeah, you've also got some of the collection here.
Well, whether I start a new trend, but another podcast that I look at fairly frequently is the Skateboarding 9 Club.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hosted by Chris Roberts and a cast of others. And over the years, the guests have come along and bring gifts. So I thought I would start the trend and brought you both a package of Pang Photo and Canberra Regional School Skater stickers. Cool. And Sancho and I were laughing just before the show started and said, "Isn't that bloody crazy? I'm a 60-year-old man and I get excited about stickers."
Yeah, same. My customers like vibe out on stickers. We have like a big sticker box on the counter and it's all ages.
Skate shops have that as well. So you can have the premium stickers and pay for them.
Yeah.
Or there's like a lolly jar, almost like a guitar shop.
Yeah.
Pick bucket, and you can, if you buy something, you can just
browse,
lucky dip and take a few stickers. But yeah, people.
Okay, so just critiquing this Mustard Flats podcast, it seems a little bit less structured than I was hoping for. It's a bit more free form.
People annihilate each other at contests for the sticker toss, but they're good. I love stickers, and we try and share the stoke with the Canberra Regional School Skate.
Something there, technically speaking, when Pangy bumped the desk, unfortunately, the cameras appear to be mounted to the same desk. That's a big no-no. You should mount the cameras separate to the desk so that when the guest puts their elbows down or taps something, it doesn't wobble the camera. Watch this. See that? See that wobble?
Sticker toss. But they're good. I love stickers.
See that?
And
I'm not here to critique, but I note these things and I'm just try to offer a little bit of help where possible.
Try and share the stoke with the Canberra Regional School Skaters, so the events that we run. And we're fortunate. We've got John Mexi Parry, brother of Paul Parry from the Cross Crew, who's an awesome graphic designer, and hopefully he might be back in Canberra sometime soon. So he does most of our graphics for us. And anyway, so a gift, and maybe it'll start the trend.
Yeah, very cool.
And awesome video, Nick. Like I think a few of us have posted it up and it's been reposted, and I think people thought, oh, it's so short, like
like that was it?
Could be 5 times longer.
We'll have to do a second issue. Yeah,
we have so much in the archives.
Yeah, that was the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, very much so. But no, awesome response, and really cool to see it firsthand as well. But Sancho, why don't we first start with your vision a bit for these episodes and the idea behind them, and why you chose Dave Pang to launch the first episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Chose me first. Wow.
Well, I've kind of been talking to you about this over a year ago, but the timing was just a bit off, just with having like the little one and being so time poor. But I genuinely want to sort of like distill the experiences and the people that I've met through Sancho's Dirty Laundry, because I was sort of just thinking back, like I've almost been doing this for 14 years and I've met so many colourful personalities, tortured artists, eccentrics, and like my life is so much more richer for it, and I kind of wanted to share these personal stories and experiences. And
the connections you make. So the first time I met you, you hosted cafe bike show.
Yeah, the Canberra Cafe races
with Simon Whittaker.
Yeah.
So and talk about 6 degrees of separation. So from there, and I took my camera with me because that's what photographers do.
Yeah.
And Simon and I got chatting, and he then contacted me about a month after that show, and he had built a cafe racer bike that had a skateboard rack on it.
Yeah.
And he got the skateboard painted up and designed to go with his bike, and we went to is that it there?
That's one of his builds. Yeah.
And and so we went to Western Skate Park and took some photographs and things, and then more 6 degrees of separation.
There's Simon there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might even have that as an album on the Facebook page.
Yeah, this is yours.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's his album.
Nick's all over it.
Yeah, and but funnily, so I've got a very good friend, Bill Guthrie, or I should call him William Guthrie because he always calls me Floyd, which is my middle name. But Bill Guthrie is a very good friend of mine, and he restores and collects scooters, so Lambrettas and Vespas and things. And I think those sorts of bikes evolve over time and become cafe races. So there's a bit of an association.
This is a little unclear to me. Who's hosting? The producer and the switcher seems to be asking the questions. Is it normally him that's the interviewer, and that the Sanchez person is guesting there? That's what it kind of sounds like. I've never seen it before. I've never seen Mustard Flats before.
Between scooters and Simon Whittaker. So Bill and Simon know each other and do the Distinguished Gentleman's
every year they do
bike
the charity ride. Yeah.
And then Bill goes, I was doing some stuff at my parents' place in Farrer the other day. And would you believe Simon Whittaker's family live over the side fence?
Yeah,
and they didn't even know. They never knew each other when they grew up.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
so
classic
from
Canberra, though. Yeah.
Sancho's Dirty Laundry is the meeting place.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was
and then you had shredders.
Wow. I'm sorry. This is really awkward. This is really awkward. I'm not sure if it's meant to be. It's really awkward. This channel Mustard Flats. Let me just have a look quickly at some of the other interviews. It seems really awkward. Can't really tell from that little preview, but I was hoping to just see. I don't know. I mean, everyone's got their own take on how they interview and whatnot, but this 7 minutes in and it hasn't really. I don't think anyone's asked a question of Pangy yet.
Yeah, that was in
Lachlan.
partnership with Lachlan. Yeah, so that's how the store started.
that was a
as
different-
pop-up.
Then again, it could just be a chill, like just chatting amongst mates kind of thing. That's probably the vibe they're going for.
Was that at the shredder shop as well?
Yeah, so I'd won this
because it was down an alleyway. Like the bikes were down an alleyway.
Yeah, so that was Chop Shop. So we had this. That was in the warehouse next to the shredders, to the Lonsdale Street Traders, where Shredders and Dirty Laundry
That's
was.
right,
Yeah. So Lachlan and I started the shop together, but it was like two shops in the one space.
Yes,
so he did Shredder's board store, and I did Sancho's Dirty Laundry, and it was a way to sort of like shoulder the costs between us and share the risk. And then we sort of went our separate ways. And then after we'd sort of like separated and moved into separate spots, the warehouse next door was sort of proposed to me as like, you know, there's a space that's waiting approval. There's like 6 to 8 months where it's going to be empty. Do you want to do like a pop-up there? And that's sort of how Chop Shop started. And that's where Simon had his Canberra Cafe Racer like show and shine.
Oh, wait. Sorry. It's 9 minutes in now. Is this the stuff that should have been cut before the actual podcast begins? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we did the screening for the Pappas doco, All This
yes,
Mayhem, which we
yes.
had your images like pasted up
That's right.
on the walls. Yeah. Yeah, that was a time.
14 years ago.
14 years ago, yeah. I was actually thinking back to that. I think that night we had the screening and I think it was the same night that the VBs then played and a few other bands. And then I was thinking about this funny story where like, do you know Taz? Taz worked for us in the bar.
Yes.
Like Taz Sharker.
Yes, yeah.
And I was thinking about that night where like we had rivets, those beers that you get from Aldi, the really ghetto Rivettos. Yeah. And that was like our budget beer. And we'd sort of like amassed all these boxes out the back. And everyone was so riled up from the doco and then the bands that someone started building this like cardboard box tower and set it on fire.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be like this, but I'm just wondering if this is going to be, this is how it's all going to be, or is it going to be questions and responses from Pangy? Like we're 10 minutes in now. Who I'm confused. Is she a guest as well, and she's not supposed to be here normally? His work has captured the rise of skateboarding. Tonight we will see the first of a new series with Sancho's Dirty Laundry, where we explore the beautiful chaos that flows from the shop and talk to people that add a bit of color to our city. Okay. So it's a conversation with Sancho. Where's Sancho's Dirty Laundry then? Is that another channel? Yeah, okay, interesting. I might just be being a bit of a negative Nancy here, but I would have thought that 10 minutes in we would have already been talking about skateboard photography with Pangy. That's all.
And none of us realised
Geek Out, hang out on Kick. How you doing, Geek Out?
what was going on except for Taz. He was like, I smell smoke, like, and so he saved the night. He got like the
it's also
the
confusing.
alcohol
She's talking about someone called Taz, but in the skateboard world, people would just think of Taz Pappas, but it's obviously not Taz Pappas because she mentioned the doco, all this mayhem. It's funny she's talking about that doco launch, but she's talking about someone else called Taz. It's very confusing. Hey, you're just chilling. Yeah, no worries, Geek Out. Just chill. It's all good. Good to see you.
bucket and like threw it and distinguished it. And
there's a fine line between, especially with skaters and artists.
That was one of the best nights that we've ever had at Chop Shop. I was like, that's what I call beautiful chaos. I was just like, I just got to see like the rawness of the skate community under our roof.
and then you put in a grant for ACT government to do some art thing, and it's like, can you just do this risk assessment? It's like, or can you cite any examples of other projects you've run with? Skaters.
It's a funny one.
And Canberra having Conzi, geez, there's some stories to tell.
Well, he'll get his own section in the book, no doubt.
Pros and cons.
So tell us more about your book.
Okay, good start. So what is we? 11 minutes in. Tell us about your book. You probably should have mentioned that he has a book coming out at the beginning. I'm just saying.
So tell us more about your book.
So, I'm turning the ripe age of 60, and my wonderful wife and I are empty nesters. Yep. So I've got a bit of free time, and it's a perfect timing in a way, even with yourself approaching me and Nick doing the video and a few other things that I've got to this point of maturity where I've looked at my photos and gone, oh, gee, they're more than just images that go into a magazine, and I'd like to share them and have something tangible there for people to reflect on in years to come. So I've set the date. I'm turning 60, so I'm going to do this book, coincide it with next year's Belco Bowl Jam. Hopefully do an art gallery show with Adam Bell, and we were just chatting before the show about possibly approaching some artists and doing some artwork on skateboards as well.
Yeah.
And the show will run from just before the Belco Bowl Jam to our Old Guys Slalom event on the March long weekend. So I'm calling the book 60/60, so I play on the foundational vert trick of a 50/50. So I've got to select or whittle down to 60 full-page photographs with some supplementary photos.
How do you do that? Like, what's the criteria to narrow that? Like, will it be based on skaters or events or? I'm
sort of hopeful if the book is well received, I'll do some other books. But I've looked at this book being like a kaleidoscope, so it's not the bangers or these great dynamic shots of skaters doing their thing. And
hey, thanks for the follow there, Frosh over on Kick. Thanks for following, Frosh.
Interestingly, some of my favourite photos are the more lifestyle social photos. So my favourite photo is a photo taken at the second hardcore ramp ride at Corio. So it's at this feature called the Paint Dish. So it's like a flat concrete slab that goes downhill and then goes into like a curved quarter pipe, and it's got curved sides. But the photo that I've taken is all the skaters standing at the start area, at the high part of the concrete slab. And what I love about it is there's just the icons, the legends of, or not the legends, because they were like the top pros of skating from America, Australian and New Zealand pros, and then there's just Happy Joe come likely standing there shoulder to shoulder with Lee Ralph and Christian Hosoi, and it's just like, this is just so bloody cool. Like,
don't know if it's in this gallery, but it's the portrait gallery on your.
And the only other sport that I can think of where the general public get to rub shoulders with their sporting heroes would be pro cycling, like the Tour de France, where you've got the people running along and throwing water, and that crazy guy that dresses up as the Satan, the devil, and his pitchfork, and so. And these sorts of photos mean as much, if not more, to me than the skating photos. And don't get me wrong, I get really excited and try and emulate. I'm still trying to emulate some of my photographic heroes like Grant Britton, Todd Swank, Mickey Verkovich, Ted Terrebonne, Joan Casmius, and even some of the people I admired in Australia. So the OG Canberra skateboarder, and that's what I should clarify, I'm not the OG Canberra skateboarder. There was two photographers, a gentleman that now lives in Melbourne, Cameron Wells, and another fellow, Mark Eaton, Pook was his name, and he was a really good friend of Tim Whitten's. So Tim Whitten's the fellow who I took a photograph of. It was my first ever proper skate photo. Yeah. And I just used to look at all and these photos Mark and Cameron Wells took, and that's what I've always done. Looked at the photos that I admired and tried to emulate them. Yeah. And a slightly funny story or interesting story is when I was photographing Lee Ralph. So and there's a great documentary, if people haven't seen it, called Barefoot, a 10-series documentary on YouTube.
Still yet to watch that. It's in my playlist and I haven't been and watched it.
So Lee came from New Zealand and spent time in Australia and just annihilated skating in Australia before he went to America and got his own pro model and just changed the face of skateboarding at that time in the mid-'80s. But I was taking some photos one day and he goes, "Oh, Dave, when Lance Mountain and some of the other photographers or skaters who took photos and photographers take photos, they not only do they have the camera that you're like the flash that you're holding in your hand, but they have another. I think that's one of my photos there. They also put a flash on keep a flash on their camera as well. So Lee Ralph sort of schooled me on how to take better skate photos. So not only did he inform and push the skaters, but he helped me make much better skate photos as well.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have like...
So Lee Ralph told Pangy to have on-camera flash. It's funny, man. Every time, like when I was learning to shoot portraits and whatnot with lighting, it was always get your flash off camera. I mean, it sounds like he had a flash off camera as well, but also have one on camera. Interesting.
Formal training in photography, or is this
Yes.
sort of like a DIY?
I am formally trained. So when I went to school, I went to Melrose High School, and they had a photo course that was part of the science course. So I dabbled in that a little bit, and then I dabbled in it, and I really liked it, and so I did a little bit of research in the colleges in Canberra, and Narrabundah College was the only school that had a tertiary accredited photo course, and that was run by the legendary Les Kovacs, who's unfortunately passed away now, and he's influenced and started the careers both photographically and in other areas for many, many Canberrans. And so I mentioned that to my father, and he wasn't too keen on myself going to Narrabundah College, but the saving grace was it was also a multicultural school, and it was the only school that offered Chinese as a language.
Oh, there you go.
So the quick pro quo was I could go to Narrabundah College and do the photographic course and a number of other courses, as long as one of those other courses was the Chinese course.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I did quite well at photography.
How'd you go with Chinese?
Oh, no good.
It's quite challenging though, isn't it? That's quite, because there's many different
So,
dialects.
And man, there are some very smart people that go to Narrabundah College. There was this one gentleman one guy in our class. His Christian name was Heinrich. I can't remember what his surname was. He was Scandinavian.
Heinrich Iber.
And
Hendrik Iber.
I think he spoke about 12 different languages, but he's one of these people, and because he spoke so many languages, he would sort of go, and like talk about, I couldn't even understand what he's talking about, but the structure and the grammatical makeup of sentences and this, that, and the next thing, and relating it. And, in Latin they do this and that, and in Swedish language they do X, Y, Z. Yeah. And anyway, so I think I stuck it out for the first year 11. Yeah. And then I went on to other subjects instead of Chinese.
And your parents were okay with that? Your dad was
they were cool.
You tried.
Yeah, I tried. and finally, now I'm a grandparent, so I whether it happens when you get a little bit older, but I try and pick up at least to be able to say hello to, if we've got workers from other cultures in our workplace. But I still, I sort of say ni hao ma to the grandkids when I pick them up and say Jan, and so I can sort of maybe as many words as I've got fingers on my hands in Chinese. So I'm trying.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. So, but Les Kovacs, absolute legendary teacher, and I remember, and even we used to visit him quite regularly, or at least a couple of times a year. So he moved from Canberra to Braidwood, and Jodie and I would go and visit him and his wife Judith, and met the rest of his family. And I'd always ring him up and go, Mr. Kovacs, what are you doing this weekend? And da-da-da. And he goes, David, you can call me Les if you like. And so when we started the course, so in the college
did that
system,
on D Live? Dropping donos on D Live. Thanks to whoever that was. Wow.
You addressed all the teachers by their Christian name. Oh. But when we went into the photographic, is it the same with you? Like when you went to college, you called the teachers by their
Oh, I went to private school till year
Oh,
10 and then Bunda for year 11 and 12, which was my creative awakening,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Best time ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For like a really old building, it was just so cutting edge and innovative and open minded. It was just really good vibes at that school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we addressed all the teachers by their Christian name, and when we all started the photographic course, Mr. Kovac says hello, and he was from the Scandinavian European area. I think I'll get it wrong if I say what country he was from. He goes, "Oh, my name is Mr. Kovacs, and we're doing the photographic course, and it is like a master apprentice sort of thing, and for that reason I would appreciate if you addressed me as Mr. Kovacs."
Oh.
And everyone did. Like they just, and it wasn't he sort of explained it was this master apprentice and that's the rationale behind it. And I think everyone still refers to him as Mr. Kovacs.
Just respected that.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful man.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
And then I guess from there, like, because you served in the military.
Yes. So from there, and obviously Dad was pretty chuffed that at least I gave a bit of an effort towards the Chinese, and he could see that my passion was photography. So when I was nearing the end of college, the end of year 12, we sat down and started talking about it, and my hat off to him. We sat down and identified the different types of photographic careers that were available, and that was back in the days with analog photography, so film, going into dark rooms, doing printing and all those sorts of things. You couldn't look in the back screen and see if you got there. Yeah.
Delete.
Yeah. And so we go, okay, there's newspaper photography and this, that, and the next thing. And he made phone calls, and I did like work experience or went and visited these places for a day each. And so that included going and visiting Heidi Smith. So she was the top professional photographer in Australia. So she did portraits and commercial work and produced quite a number of books. And my dad was an academic. He was a doctor by profession, but an academic. And so he spent a lot of time at the ANU. So I went and had a look at the John Curtin Medical School that had a photographic department. And somehow he found out that the military or the Air Force had photographers. So I went out to RAF Base Fairburn and spent a day there. And and the equipment they're using was second to none, the best equipment available. And the options were be a cadet with a newspaper, do these other things, or go to somewhere like RMIT and have quite a few $1,000s to fund the course and rent and all those sorts of things, or dress up in a smart suit, do an interview, see if I get through the selection criteria, sign away for 6 years and join the military and learn to march and fire weapons and also learn photography. And they would pay me to do the photographic course, and it was almost 12 months. So
that's cool.
I thought, 6 years, man, that's not as long as I've been at school. So I'll give it a nudge. And I obviously liked it because I did 25 years in the Air Force. So I did 25 years. And my first posting after the course was to Sydney, out to RAF Base Richmond in the west of Sydney. And coincidentally,
Quakers Hill.
One of my skate buddies, Matt Davis, moved from who I used to skate with at the original skate park in Woden, moved to Sydney. And so when I got posted to Sydney, I contacted him back in the days without mobile phones and landline. So I had to find where he was, but contacted him, and he started all the contacts with the skateboarding community in Sydney.
Matt Davis, or Mavis, interesting. When I moved to Adelaide, he was one of the guys that reached out, sort of up front, like him and Rhodesy and Simon Sack Reynolds, to go skating. Whenever you wanted to go and skate, just give me a call and I'll come and meet you. And it was just West Beach Vert Ramp. Who was doing that on D-Live? Thank you for the donation. And Mavis, he'd come back to my place after Friday night sessions, and we'd have beers at home. And yeah, somehow that ended up becoming Matt Davis living at my house without ever really sort of saying, hey, man, I might move in here. He just kind of moved in. We had a spare kind of, I guess we had a room, but it wasn't a room. It was like a little foyer section, like a level between levels. And it was the computer area before everyone had their own computer. It was just like the computer study area. And Matt lived in there for a bunch of time. I think Zach lived there for a while too. I can't remember. We had actual housemates that brought friends around, like English housemates who brought their English crew over, and they were like, we need that room, so your guy's going to have to go. It's like, Matt, I'm going to have to ask you to move out. And by the way, I don't ever remember you moving in, but either way, that space is now going to be used for a backpacker for the next 2 weeks. Once they've gone, you can come back, and I don't know how that's going to roll with the other housemates, but pretty cool. We had all the crew turn up there for these comps, and just Melbourne crew, Canberra crew, Pangy's crew, and Queensland Sunshine SBVC, Sunshine Coast Vert Crew, SCVC. Yeah, those guys would rock up too and stay. So at some point, that house was just writhing with skateboarders.
And the Air Force was great. They were like, well, you can do continuation training in your own time. You can use your equipment as long as you're not making money out of the
craft.
Yeah, out of your craft.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay,
Oh, wow.
Beauty.
Wow, so Pangy, he was able to use the equipment that he was using for the military stuff for his own stuff, as long as he wasn't making financial gain. He may make financial gain off of it now, because I'm sure he used all that gear back in the day to shoot skate stuff. Interesting. That's cool.
Sweet deal.
Yeah, using the best equipment
So you were
around.
using their equipment.
Their equipment to start off with, to just take photographs. And I was really taking it for my own
Rad.
my own interest and to try and emulate was in the magazines. And that was, skateboarding was in a bit of a lull then in the early to mid 80s. And then it bounced back and the peaks and troughs with trends and things. And that's when like the Bones Brigade and Lee Ralph and Vision and Gator and all those sorts of things happened. And then there were a few magazines in Australia, as well as the American magazines, really started to fire on all fours, and things fell into place. And I got some photographs published in Australian magazines and overseas.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
What were you taking photos of in the military, like, and you did postings overseas and stuff?
Yeah,
a lot of people might not know that there were embedded photographers in.
And the military still has photographers, but keeping in mind, it was in the analog days, so film, dark rooms, etc. So be it from they're fairly straightforward, but like you'd expect, like portraits of the senior officers. The military facilitates lots and lots of courses and course photos and things. But in the Air Force, a lot of our work was engineering photography. So the stresses and strains they put the aircraft through, and they were also modifying them, etc.
Yeah.
So anytime they did a modification, we then had to photograph everything they changed, or the aircraft and parts of the aircraft before they did the modification. And then after they did the modification, photograph it as well.
Yeah.
So they had a record of it because the technicians didn't have digital cameras and could do it. So they're all the engineers and technicians are doing it
this
themselves.
Is still all film as well.
This was all with film and crawling inside aircraft wings and et cetera, but also after all aircraft, after X number of hours of flight, they go through different sort of servicing regimes, from just a after flight checkup and what have you, to deep level maintenance, where they basically pull the aircraft to pieces and they would get us to photograph, and they would inspect the aircraft to the extent that they would check every rivet on the surface of the aircraft, and if it had any sign of a stress crack, they would highlight that, we would photograph it, and they would keep a record of it, but they'd also send the photographs and the documentation to the company that makes the aircraft, and so that manufacturer has a big database and could see if there's any trends, and certainly, oh wow, these rivets at this position on the wing, there's a trend that they're showing stress fractures, and then their engineers would try and come up with a fix, and they'll send out a notification, okay, you've got to do this mod, and they call it a modification, and that would happen to the whole fleet across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, back
Do you
in the day.
reckon doing that kind of photography really fueled this as a creative outlet? Because I guess that's more like structured and mundane and routine, and then you've got this where it's just like
100%.
chaos, high energy, high
Yes.
intensity.
Yeah. And I had pretty damn good equipment that I could leverage off as well.
Yeah.
But it was good times, like really good times with the Air Force.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have stuck it out. Like 6 years came up, I was like, oh,
I wonder when he's going to say that he started shooting skate photography with the military gear. I'm keen to hear that.
this is a pretty good gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I travelled, so Sydney, got posted back to Canberra, so back home, which is a weird thing, but that was good as well because I was back in Canberra in 1988. So that was when the bicentenary was on. So got to, and they had the helicopter school at Fairburn. So, and the crew there were really accommodating and always up for a fun ride, so to speak. So, and they've another regime with pilots is they've got to do a minimum number of flying hours every month to keep their currency. So we would sort of like ring up and go, anyone got any spare time? Or they would even say, oh, look, we're going to do, we haven't done flying up in the Alps for a while, and it's really cold up there, but it's not blizzard-like. We're going up to the snow. Do you want to come along? And we're sending a couple of choppers up there. Do you want to come and take some photographs? So we would get the Guernsey to go and they always wanted photographs of themselves flying the aircraft with nice backgrounds and things.
Yeah, cool.
So did that, but they were building the Parliament House, so we used to fly over and photograph progress of Parliament House. Yeah, aerial photographs and things. So good times.
Yeah, cool. And I guess all these photos are property of like the military. Hey, you don't really have,
So, I mean, another
the way it works in Australia, it's certainly different for international, but in Australia, copyright of an image is always assigned directly to the person who took the image. So the photographer owns the rights to that photo unless they're commissioned by someone else to shoot the photograph. So in this instance, Pangy would have been commissioned in the sense that he was working directly for the military in the employment of photographer. So therefore, the work that he creates, the photos, do not belong to him. He gives away that ownership, that copyright ownership, and it goes directly to the employer, the military. People often wonder about that. Like if you shoot a photograph, you automatically, and it's different in the States. In the States, you're supposed to, if you wanted to pursue someone in a court of law, you need to register the copyright to the copyright registration. However, in Australia, copyright is automatically delegated to the content creator, the photographer, at the time of creation, unless you're being paid by someone else.
Really nice thing that I had the opportunity to do. Like I said, I was at Fairburn during the bicentenary, and being our bicentenary, 1988, we got lots of VIPs visiting, so the Queen, opening Parliament House and Prince Andrew. But I also got to photograph Nelson Mandela. Oh, cool. So he came and visited Canberra around that time. Yeah. So I showed that to one of the members of the Snow family, that and Prince... one of the royal members, and he goes, "Oh, that'd be great. Love to have that in our archive somewhere." I said, "I'd love to give it to you, but it's not my property
to give."
So. But I mean, to say that I got close.
And also back in the film days, your negative, that's a one-off, right? So like, unless you've scanned it, which people didn't often have high quality scanners back in the day, like they did exist, but it was few and far between. Unless you scanned it and kept a copy of the scan, then the negative is the only That's the only one of that. It's like an NFT, right? It's the only part. It's the only physical item of that photograph. That's it. That's it. And so they would be archived, much like what I did at the State Library when I was working there with Marty and Tattoo as a photographer. All those digital negatives, all those negatives, slides and film negatives became digitized, and the original material got archived into cold storage, literally in storage in a colder environment, and then they only ever used the digital version of it. So the original, the actual source material gets stored forever and ever and ever. That's the theory anyway. A lot of it was degraded by the time we got to it. And my job there, which is kind of nothing quite like what Pangy did with the military, but as a photographer working for a library, you might think, why would a photographer need to be employed at a library? Well, we were using the art of photography to document and digitize three-dimensional materials such as World War II diaries, some paraphernalia, clothing items, war items, badges and medals and those kind of things. But you need to document and preserve them, and photography is the way that that's the way it's done. Not just camera, like not just using a camera with a lens and a sensor, also using flatbed scanning technique. We had a pretty, and like Pangy had, we had access to the top of the line gear. Like I remember getting into that studio for the first time, and we were shooting with Hasselblads. It's like, you serious? We're photographing a diary. It's as big as this, and it's got letters that a World War a soldier had written back home, and we're using like a $17,000 camera to document this. And it's just a little letter. It's like, wow. Yeah, pretty cool.
Or reasonably
That's the first and only time I've ever played with a Hasselblad.
Nelson Mandela is quite nice as well.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then so where does so was that around the time that Canberra had like the Woden skate park? Where does that sort of slot into the timeline?
the original commercial Woden skate park, I stand corrected, but I think it opened very late 1970s.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it closed 81, maybe 82.
Okay.
So it was definitely closed when I came back to Canberra in 88. And the Canberra skate community was very fortunate, and I suppose this is a pretty good segue to talk about local skate shops and things. But
Look at that ramp.
One of the original,
no platform, no flat bottom, nice and wide though, but like no platforms. You're not meant to get on the top of it. I guess no one was getting up the top, right? No one was grinding it. That's so frightening. Imagine just going too far and sketching over the top, doing an edger and keep going. No flat bottom means you can't prepare yourself for the next transition. You just, before you even know it, you're on the other transition. You're on the second wall. And then they're off and you're back on the first wall and then the second wall. It's like riding a full pipe. It's always bang, 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 bang.
Canberra skate shops was called Surf Scene in Woden Plaza. So it's sort of above the spiral. It used to be above the spiral staircase where sort of McDonald's is on the ground floor at Woden Plaza. Yep. And Fred was like a legendary guy and a bit of an engineer as well. So after those Perspex ramps got moved on, and I think they went up to Foster in New South Wales, on the New South Wales coast, Fred built...
They were Perspex. Look at this one here. I don't know if you can see super clearly on my stream, but where my mouse is, can I make it larger? Where my mouse is right there, there's a little lip on the Perspex. It looks like it's sitting up about 5 mil. That's danger. You'd catch your wheel on that and be straight lining it.
In New South Wales, on the New South Wales coast, Fred built I think it was a metal framed wooden half pipe, which was significantly smaller in width to that Perspex ramp, but that was the only place that we could skate vert in Canberra. Yeah, right. No, I stand corrected. There was Canberra half pipe.
Did that go to vert? Can't see. Okay, there's a bit of vert on that. This doesn't it reaches vert then stops. Oh wait, here. No, look, there's half a foot of vert there at least on this corner here. Yeah, there's at least half a foot of vert there. Wow.
in New South, which was significantly smaller in width to that Perspex ramp, but that was the only place that we could skate vert in Canberra.
Yeah,
No, I stand corrected. There was Canberra half pipe, but that was pretty gnarly and wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fred built the half pipe, and then he built a mini ramp, and that really sustained Canberra skateboarding. And I think because Fred did those sorts of things, the ACT government or whoever made the decisions for doing parks and things in the ACT were quite open-minded and motivated to do quite a number of public skate facilities. So the Canberra skate facility, Charmwood, which is on the screen there, which we were also super excited when we heard we were going to get a bowl, but I think...
Wow, it's weird.
I think the dimensions, they mistook metres for feet or something, because it's about only a quarter the size it should have been. So, but we had that Canberra half pipe, and then the iconic Erindale banks, which Woody and the other folk from Canberra Skateboarding Association have got it over the line that it's been listed for heritage listing, which is fantastic.
That's
That's
cool.
very cool. How many years of advocating for that?
Erindale was a strange skate facility because we always, and coming from Sydney and being young, 10 years younger than Pangy, we always assumed that was not meant to be a skate park. Like, why did they build it out of bricks? Like, it should have just been like flush concrete. Why would they intentionally make a skate park with bricks for the transitions? So we as my crew just assumed it wasn't meant to be ridden. We just assumed it was art. And skateboarders were like, "You kidding me? This is perfect transitions. It's like so many of them. There's tight, there's mellow, there's bowled out corners, there's hips." And it actually is a skate park, and they built it out of brick. I hope photos come up from there.
Has that been?
Predominantly Woody and the Canberra Skateboard Association, I think, have put 8 hard years of lobbying and paperwork and just chipping away. So, yeah, credit to those guys.
Yeah.
And including the free skate to learn to skate sessions they do every couple of weekends. I mean, they're absolute champions.
Yeah. I plan to take River to those
Yeah.
in summer.
Yeah. I mean, I think to skateboard in Canberra in winter, you've got to be damn committed.
Also, I was surprised Canberra doesn't have like an indoor park.
Yeah, we should.
Like, I thought someone would have
That's
pushed
Arendelle.
for that or
You can't see
started
it.
that.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Chipping away, all weather, all seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think as a commercial venture, it would be a very hard slog. We just don't have the population. But
also rent would just be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like per square meter.
Yeah. I think Stromlo would be an ideal location. It's got the mountain bike thing. It's got the handlebar.
So do you reckon like an outdoor track with a covering sort of thing? Like
I think to start off with. Yeah, and they could do it progressively as well. And Stromlo just seems to, it's got the car parking.
Yeah.
It's central to Canberra, easy to get to with Tuggeranong Parkway. And I think with those sorts of facilities, and especially somewhere like Stromlo, rather than doing all these fancy things with lights and things, they should just put up dedicated like graffiti walls and like let your clients and the people that a lot of them are skateboarders as well.
Yeah.
But they do all this great work, and it's in the stormwater drains and underpaths and things.
Obscure spots.
And man, could you imagine just driving into Stromlo and just having these walls with different artworks? It would be amazing.
It would be amazing. But there's so many layers with like the graffiti management in Canberra, and then it's also like because it's considered a public space, you have to get all these residents in the area to like agree on having this location established, and then the maintenance involved and the OH&S of where the spot is, and it just becomes this like bureaucratic like.
It can be, but I think if there's a desire or the right people back it.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so cool with the skate community that you guys have this momentum through Canberra skateboarding to really push for these changes. I feel like the graph community doesn't really have that, but it would be cool if it did. Yeah.
And we're fortunate that, and I've deliberately, or consciously not put my hand up and become a formal part of the Canberra Skateboarding Association because I like to dance to the tune of my own drum, and I think if I'm in a position of an official position, then it compromises myself from doing what I want to do. And we were saying earlier on that I sort of laugh sometimes when people go, and we've spoken about slightly changing the style of painting Belco Bowl, so with its iconic spider web. And when we sort of discussed that, some of the other people go, you can't do that. Like that's been heritage listed. It's like, dude, like I've sort of said to some of the younger skaters, guys, I've been painting this bowl longer than you've been alive. No, I think I've been involved in every painting of the bowl, and I've seen every iteration of the bowl from being. I actually stand corrected. Scott and Matt Brown and Lee Steele did the original painted tiles on the concrete surface bowl, and they painted the tiles. So they got a couple of pizza boxes and cut out little squares. Yeah. And then the pizza box was their stencil template, and they sprayed that on. And so and the really beautiful thing is Scott and Matt Brown are the bastions of doing the tiles. So we do all the other painting.
Wow.
But the tiles are left.
That's an old shot. That's the vert ramp just going up. The old vert ramp. Yeah, one time when we went down to Belco back in the 90s, we camped out up here on this hill. Didn't get long into the night until cops came and told us to move on.
For Matt and Scott to do. And it's quite funny watching them go through the process of painting the tiles because...
Yeah. Monster bowl. It felt massive back in the day. It's not actually that big, but it felt huge. This vert ramp in the background here had fence palings for the platform. Like there were gaps between it. It wasn't a solid platform. It was palings. Always felt like you were going to lose keys and shit down the holes.
They're pretty much as high as kites. By the time
but they get the job done, right?
They get the job done, but they're all pretty straight laced and in control at the beginning at one side of the roll in, and a few hours later when they're on the other side, they're giggling and stumbling around.
Free form.
Yeah, so maybe the supply of some sort of mask facility. Might be another market for you, and so before how the spider web came about at Belco Bowl. So after the whole park was rebuilt, other than the bowl, the council painted it, and they did like a flame motif in the bottom, and again that was something that I initiated. So there's a fantastic photograph of American skater Bucky Lasek for an ad for, it could have been an ad for Vans or for Element, and he's in a Spanish bowl doing this amazing trick, and the paint job are these flames, and I just thought that is so cool.
Yeah,
and so they painted that. And a couple of years later, Nike were the sponsors for, and there's some photos up there now, sponsors for, I think it was the 10th Belco Bowl Jam.
That's the one I think that's the one I remember the most, the blue bowl, because then they did Bondi blue as well.
Again, we painted it. We painted it blue, and then they got a commercial painter to do the Nike swoosh in the bottom and the white stripe, so it looked like a Nike shoebox. And even though we painted the whole thing blue, the painter almost fell over backwards when he came and goes, "Oh God, I didn't realise that it was that big." And and he sort of like
Because he couldn't see the curve.
no, just how much white paint he had to use for the instead of the
I get
tiles.
you, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so we did that. So we skated that, etc. The real problem with skating
Slippery.
the bowl with all one colour is it's like stepping into a green screen.
Yeah,
You've got no idea where
Like
you.
depth.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so dangerous.
Yeah.
So from there we I think we painted it black, and that's so Mike O'Mealy, who's right near, so that's Lance Mountain. I think one of the most legendary skateboarders in the world, and the nicest guy, and a fantastic artist. So Mike O'Mealy was the bona fide tour photographer for Nike, and Lance Mountain's basically the team manager for Nike skateboarding. So he's got his finger on the pulse and's got such a great team. So he teed up and arranged with Mike to get the shot of the frontside hand plan over the channel. And I consciously, first of all, I didn't want to barge Mike O'Mealy's parade. It's his shot. He's trying to make money and was commissioned to do the photograph. But I instinctively felt that I needed to get back and just photograph.
This is better. They got the photo of the photo happening. I think this is way better than the actual photo.
Just all the photographers,
Like the BTS, yeah.
paparazzi, the crowd.
Yeah.
And super stoked with that photograph. It's just, I think it's the same moment that flash that sliding Lance is coming from Mike O'Mealy.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. So anyway,
Stolen
after,
flash.
a year or so after this, we painted the bowl black, and the Creature team were touring.
That was
and
Dolphus.
And the Creature team.
Yeah, nice. No, it's not. That's an extension there too. I remember that. Right.
Were touring, and so we painted a pentagram on the bottom. So that's there's
a
the
flame,
there's the flame. Yeah. So it's nowhere near as nice as the Spanish one, but it still look pretty.
That
cool.
looks sick.
Be interesting to know who the artist was. They got to do that. Were you involved in any of those sorts of things when they do public art?
Not back then. Like my store only opened, I think, like 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing
that's
pop-ups
Yeah,
around
that's
this
a
time.
really nice thing too. Is I don't know. I think it's fantastic that the ACT government appreciates and has that communication and liaison with ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so and it's interesting when I say we paint it, I'm sort of like the ideas person, and everyone else. Like, there's no way I could sketch out a pentagram in the bottom.
Creative director.
Yeah,
I'd love to see the Belco Bowl painted with animals, sort of like almost like the Mike Vallely Animal Farm deck, but maybe do it in an Australian animals only. That'd be pretty sick because so many international skateboarders come down for the Belco Bowl Jam. It'd be rad to have like koalas and kangaroos and dingoes and platypuses, but in the style of Animal Farm Mike Vallely. That'd be pretty rad.
creative director, and
You delegate.
yeah. So and for clarification, I'm the creative director. Cons is the foreman. Cons can certainly round up people and
Yeah.
motivate them. Getting Cons to work is another thing, but he's great at creating the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And yeah, so a really good friend of mine, Roscoe, is just an engineering guru. And just got masking tape out and did the pentagram, and we painted that for the Creature crew. And that's another thing that I think most skaters around the world do it, but certainly Canberra skaters, they liked. Well, how can I put it? If we know people are visiting, we we try and show our appreciation that the skaters have gone out of their way and come to Canberra,
Yep.
and we want them to have the facility at its best and have a good time. And so after that pentagram was put in there, unfortunately, and sadly, one of the Canberra skate icons, Todd Webster, passed away, and the council, ICT government, commissioned an artist to do a piece on the wall there above the pentagram for Todd Webster, which
Do you
was
know who
really
that
nice.
was?
I don't.
No,
I don't. I
yeah.
think Luke Brown would know who that is.
Okay.
Yes. So, and again, we had the same problem with the pentagram, that it was all black and you couldn't see where you were going.
Yeah.
And so from there, it was like, well, we've got the pentagram there and we might upset a few people, or, we might end up with sacrifices in the bottom of the bowl if we leave it there. So we just used the points of the pentagram. And I said, well, if we need some lines on there, why don't we just extend the lines up and do a cobweb?
Yep.
And that's where the cobwebs come from.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. And sometime after that, the American skateboarder, he now skates for Santa Cruz, Eric Dressen, sort of like a legendary
Or a street skater.
skateboarder from the 80s and still skating now, and a tattoo artist, came to Australia and was at Bondi, and they had an art show called the Blood and Guts Art Show, which Pat Noho coordinates. And he just doodled and did this sketch, and it was a skull with the top of the head bowled out and with the spider web, and he had done in very iconic Eric Dressen lettering Belco.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I said, oh, Eric, look, I'm from Canberra and Belco's my local. How much would it cost to buy that? Like, I'd like to put my red dot on it now. He goes, oh, packet of cigarettes. I was going, what? Really?
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I purchased that artwork from Eric and had it on show, and Luke Brown was involved in some of the Belco Bowl jams, and that was the first time. So Luke decided, why don't we do an homage to Eric Dressen and that graphic, and that we put that in the bottom of the bowl, and from there, every year myself as creative director, Cons is the foreman, and everybody else is the hired help. We sort of brainstorm, who are we going to give a nod to?
Yeah.
And we come up with a different logo. So we sort of think, who? Sometimes we go, okay, who would we really like to have at Belco? And we'll put their little iconography in the bottom, and then we'll show it a few months before Belco.
As a draw card.
As a draw card, and try and
Entice
convince them. Yeah, or get they
Sneaky.
can then talk to their sponsor and go, dude,
Sneaky.
I've got to be in Canberra.
Yeah.
Like I can't not be there.
Smart.
So
Smart.
there's method in the madness.
Yeah.
And so we've done tributes to did we do Lance? We certainly did John Lucero, Omar Hassan. So we did that, and we were so hopeful because he skates for Vans, and Vans sponsor the Belco Bowl Jam with Omar just kills everything. He's such a good skater and he's such a nice guy. Yeah, we'll do the Omar one. So years ago, Omar was at an event, and there was they call it a doorway or a keyhole. So there's an obstacle that had a chute through it, but it had part of the ramp above the top, and he didn't duck his head far enough, and so he conked his head, axed himself.
Oh.
And so there's a great graphic of him with his stitches on there. So we put that on the bottom, and then a couple of years later, Lance did turn up, and then as a tribute to Jeff Grosso.
Yo, Dalesky.
Very iconic.
How you doing, man? What to do? How you doing, Dale? Good to see you.
American skateboarder and good friend of so many people in Australia, unfortunately passed away. So we did the acid face Jeff Grosso graphic, and Cons's wife Gabby is the sweetest person in the world, and she must be saintly.
Equilibrates.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
energy.
yeah. Yes, she's an artist, and she does most of the graphics down the bottom for us.
Very cool.
And yeah, which is really nice. And then last year, little bit different. Last year, the organisers, and rightly so, commissioned a Queensland artist, Sid Tapia, to come down, and he spent a couple of days doing that fantastic graphic for Mike D.
Yeah, it looked incredible.
Oh, just
It was-
and
Yeah.
that's Barry. I think I was talking about Barry.
The Dread?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's his son, Lenny. So, so I've got photos of Barry. So, yeah, Barry and Lenny are the sweetest, nicest skateboarders in Australia. Full stop. And Barry used to drive around in this old V-dub combi, and it was all hand painted like Sergeant Pepper's. He's a real Beatles freak. So, Lenny, like his son's name's Lenny after John Lennon, and he's got a daughter as well, Oceana. He's a really nice girl as well. But I've got a photograph of a portrait I did obviously years and years ago of Barry sitting with his skateboard with his combi in the back, and Lenny is about the same age as River.
Yeah.
On a skateboard.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, I'm putting that in the book as well. So I want to put that photograph of Lenny and Barry with the portrait of Mike D in the book, and just talk about how legendary they are. But then I want to put as a little side photo the photo of Barry with Lenny in the background, almost in his diapers.
Yeah.
And just show like just how close a family and such cool people they are.
One
Yeah,
thing,
so-
I'll just pause there quickly. One thing that Pangy said to me when he was talking about this book, when I was visiting him a few months back, which this is a brilliant idea, he's also releasing the book as like an online kind of social media website, if you like. So what's in physical in print will also have a digital counterpart on the website. And the greatest thing about it, it'll be social. So you'll be able to, let's say you turn to page 12 and there's a photo of, I don't know, something up maybe say Fairfield mini ramp, and you see that photo, and then there's a comments field where you can make your comments, kind of like Facebook, like, oh, I rode this ramp back in the 90s, and then you can upload your own photo or your own video. And so then there's this never-ending linkable analog chronicle of photos and documents of these parks, because don't forget, Pangy photographed all of these places because he went there to skateboard, but so did a lot of other people. And there might have been eras of these parks that Pangy didn't get to see because Canberra and whatever are traveling. And so if you can start the trail by showing the image and say, this is St. Mary's mini ramp, and then all of a sudden everybody that ever went there goes, dude, I got photos of that when I was there in whatever, and I've got videos like I do, and you post them, and suddenly and it's not Facebook, it's a standalone website, but you can obviously link it from and in and out. I think that concept of bringing everybody together via someone who was at that, like right at the pinnacle, and the timing and the placement where he was and the era, everything just forms to be, it has to start from the Pangy photos, and then it can wind off anywhere it needs to. Kind of like the skateparks.com or skateboard.com.au forums back in the day before it all went to shit. That place was kind of like a little bit of a chronicle, and it's like the skate parks guide where you could comment on the park and you could link out things, but having it there, like the facility to upload your video and your photos, and then people can comment and say, what year was that? Okay. And then you date stamp it. It's like, dude, as far as preserving and documenting, skateboarding, right? Skateboarding, preserving, not just preserving. I preserve everything, but skateboarding, such a great idea. And I really hope that He hasn't mentioned it yet in this interview, but I really hope that idea is still on the forefront. I mean, it would take a lot of sort of back-end delivery and a little bit of money and investment. I hope maybe you can get endorsements like Nike Skateboarding or some of the city of Canberra or some council to cough up the cash, because it's going to need to be hosted and stored. But what a great idea. And I really hope he mentions it here in this interview. He hasn't touched on it yet, but he did when I was there in Canberra visiting him
And
a few months ago.
Not sure what it is, but I'm starting to realise that I'm enjoying the photos even more than I used to, and just this want to share it with people, and maybe some sort of ego thing, get the book published as well.
Do you think you look back at them differently than at the time when you were shooting?
Yes,
yeah.
And there's sometimes I look at photographs. I'll go back through the back catalogue, through the film. So the slides are easier to look at because they're positive, and you can hold them up to light and go, oh, yeah, I remember that photo. But going through the black and white film and some of the negative film, so they're in negative
format, you have to scan them, I guess.
Scan them and look at them. But sometimes I look at them and go, oh my God, like why didn't I send this photograph back in the day? And now it's like 40 years ago. Yeah.
Well, the book, I guess.
Yes.
That's great that he didn't send some of those out, because he was telling me that often in that era, when you sent a physical slide to a magazine, they often never returned them. More often than not, you never got it back. And that is the only copy of that image. It's not an image, it's a negative, right? That's the only copy of that. Shouldn't use the word copy there, right? Because it's not a copy. The only source of that. So thankfully, some of them he didn't send, he still got.
The book,
Yeah. I guess the next question would be, like, in all the years you've been shooting here, what's changed more, the skaters, the city, or the way you see it all through the lens?
Ooh. The
city's definitely changed.
Yeah.
The skaters have changed. The attitude is still the same. I believe the attitude is still the same. Generally speaking, but the advantage that the committed skaters have got now is, and I don't want to sound like this, like, oh, back in the day, but and I was never. I think I said it in that video clip. Like, sort of fortuitously, I was not a great skater. Like, I enjoy skating.
Happy birthday!
But I wasn't.
Thank you. It's not today though, but cheers, dude. Happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is today, though.
I was never going to go in the events and blow people away, so I stuck to photography. But even for myself, if I heard of a trick or wanted to learn a trick, I either had to see someone I knew that could do the trick and watch them do it, or wait for a few months for the magazine to come through, and if it might have a single photograph of someone doing that trick, or 1 in 100 chance that maybe the magazine's got a sequence of the trick, so you can actually see bit by bit. Whereas now, on YouTube and Instagram, the kids are, or I won't say the kids, the skaters are seeing the trick being done almost immediately after it's been done. They can slow it down, analyse it, and they're still, like, some of the skaters are so hungry. And I think that's another really good thing about skateboarding as well. Like, people, you've always going to get your naysayers going, the Olympics are going to spoil skateboarding, this, that, and the next thing. But to me, it's like surfing, or even like high art or art, and then you've got street art. It's there for everyone. You've got your Kelly Slaters, the pro surfers that do their thing, and you've got other surfers that are way better or doing their own thing, and you've never heard of them because they're just not interested in it. And
that's all part of it. It's all part of it, and it'll inspire generations, whether it's like to go in that general direction or reactionary. Like, it's all part of it. You sort of need that to keep it alive.
And exactly. And by having it in the Olympics, shops are going to sell more skateboards.
You did that on D Live.
It's going to make the
Thank you
availability,
for the donation there.
And more money for.
Wow! Oh, whoever did that. Thank you.
Kids that want to, or the kids, I say, the skaters who want to be sponsored. Yeah, so the city has changed.
I can tell you who did that.
And like we were laughing about risk assessments and work health and safety, it seems to be slower to get some skate facilities built.
Yeah.
Obviously, street skating's happening now, so skate stoppers and skaters are using the urban terrain, whereas I'm more of a park.
That was B-nutser.
Skater and what have you.
Yeah.
Thank you, B-nutser.
And yeah, you sort of got like I suppose if anything, there's more parents that are a bit like soccer mums and dads that want their kids to be the next Tony Hawk or Arissa True, which is a little bit weird, but there's space for everybody.
Changes the public perception a bit.
Yeah.
I guess like talking about like skate shops and like selling of decks and stuff like that. I was going to ask you this question in light of like Trilogy just closing down. I guess independent skate shops have always been the heartbeat of local scenes, especially in a place like Canberra. From your perspective, what role have shops like Trilogy, Shifties, Adrenaline played in shaping the community here? And how do you think the decline of those kinds of core stores is impacting the next gen of skaters and creatives?
Unfortunately, I think it's a sign of the times that local community or locally owned skate shops are closing, and I think that's the same with all sorts of retail.
Yeah.
Because the availability of buying things online, but certainly places like Trilogy, Shifties, and Surf Scene, it was the hub. Everyone went there to see what the latest product was. You couldn't go online and just see the latest clip which accompanied the next product drop, etc. And in a really nice way, and usually there was a couple of skaters that worked in the skate shops, and they were like the gun. They were like demigods. Like, and I think even myself, like my dad took me to Burwood Skateboard World in Sydney. I think it was before Surf Scene had skate things, and Adrian Jones served me, and and I was almost too scared to talk to him because he was like this.
I am not worthy.
Yes, exactly. Like, and I think it's the same. Like when Byron and
now Moyne is that B-nutser? Is that Perdsky? I asked you this yesterday or the day before when you were in my chat and you didn't answer. Are we talking about Perdsky right there? Perd beer, Moyne. It's the Perd. That's the Perd beer greeting. Moyne.
Hamilton worked at Surf Scene and Spud at Trilogy, and even the guys, Dave Donahue and the guys. I'm sure the young kids, well, maybe kids are a little bit more cocky and confident now, but that's like, I saw that person at Belco.
Yeah.
Well,
it's definitely, I feel like the preteens are like that before the teenagers get attitude. But like it's the same when like little dudes come in asking questions about aerosol and then just blows their mind. Like they just look at the shelf and they're like,
and and it's even like, he gave me a sticker. I'm gonna put it in my. Well, look what I put stickers in a scrapbook and what. Yeah. But it's like I can't touch it. I don't want to taint.
This writer from Sydney came into the store like a couple of weeks ago.
Who?
A writer, like a graffiti writer from Sydney came into the store a couple of weeks ago and left a stack of slaps because I was like, dude, I guarantee you 100% if you just leave these stickers here on my counter, all the youngins will just like pillage it. And he's like, oh, I don't know, because like if you do that in Sydney, it's considered really toy. And I was like, who cares? Like
Toy?
kids froth this shit.
It's considered really toy. I've never even heard that saying before. It's considered really toy. Okay.
Yeah, and I had the stack on the counter. It was gone within days. Like I shared it on my stories.
That's so. Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, this guy came into the store. How often does he come? Is there a chance I'll bump into him? Like, do you think he'll sign my black book?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe." Like, I think it's really cool.
I think it is, and that's another thing with and I sort of said like skateboarding and cycling. like you can't the people at Wimbledon can't get off the seats and go down to the court and rub shoulders with Roger Federer or
That's true.
those guys.
That's going to be weird. Hey, Dale. That is true. Yeah, it's some sports they ban you. They frown upon you coming to meet your idols. You know, like what about a pitch invasion at the soccer? You can't do that.
So to sort of be rubbing shoulders with the skaters,
Pretty
and
unique.
even, like, you know, if someone's doing a piece on a wall, do you have the courage to go up and talk to them?
Moin is used like hello in Northern Germany. You can say it every day at nighttime. Yes. But we have someone in our chat. Well, hasn't been here for a while. His name's Perdbeer. He's an Australian living in Germany, in Berlin, and he would always come into the chat with Moin gives a minute. And I just assumed that was him with a new handle, Be Nutzer. You're not Perdbeer though. You're someone else, and you're in Northern Germany. Okay. Well, there's two Moins that we might be seeing. Imagine Perdbeer turned up as well. Moina do Be Nutzer.
What sort of technique are you using, or what brand paint?
Yeah, what nozzles? Yeah.
I'm talking to Carl when I bought that paint from. I had no idea, like all these different nozzles and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's changed a lot. And you've kind of, I don't know if it's the same in the skate community. Like some people are like, no, you've got to learn on like the most basic and get your skills first before like, you know, dappling in all the extra like bits and pieces. But I'm always just like, you just use what tools are at your disposal
100%,
and
yeah.
figure it out. Just try. Like, try different things.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
Yeah. We're living in a pretty privileged time for all this kind of stuff.
Sure are.
Yeah.
And you can see on YouTube.
Yeah.
And see what
So much
techniques.
content.
Yeah,
Yeah, so much content.
You mentioned the Wimbledon analogy, and when you were starting photography and taking skate photos, did you clock at the time who sort of the gravity of who those people were and the access that you had on the deck at the time, do you think? And what those photos would go on to be 40 years later, like that those are the iconic images of Australia's scene?
Yes and no. I knew I was super fortunate to get the David Fang platform pass.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of thanks to Tony Hallam, Melbourne skater that skated for the hardcore team. And I'm not really answering the question, but I've sort of reflected that generally speaking, I'm certainly more on the introverted side of socializing and outward going. So
The other thing to note here before he answers this totally is that back in this day or in that era, nobody gave a shit about these people except for skateboarders. Only skateboarders cared for the Bones Brigade. Nobody else did. But like I said earlier, before the Tony Hawk made Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you could walk into a town and ask an older person who did that. Who did that on DLive? Let me just verify who that was. Dropping a little subscribe to the channel there. Dale gifting out subs. Hey, thanks, Dale. Cheers, man. Yeah, like if you walked into a town in like the early 80s or mid 80s and asked an older person, male or female, where the skate park is, they'd look at you and they'd say, "What's a skate park? We don't know what that is." And whatever, like, and then you explain to them, it's somewhere where I can ride my skateboard. They say, "We don't have that here." Now, after post Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Tony Hawk becoming a household name, not only will everybody know where the skate park is, every fucking town has one. Every town has one. Even the shittiest little speck of dust town out the back of nowhere has got a skate park. It's crazy. So in these days that Pangy's talking about, nobody cared for what was happening except for the skateboarders. Now, fast forward to today and skateboarding is a household name and the names Tony Hawk are on everyone's lips, well then, yeah, you might not be able to get access to the ramp to take photos unless you've already got the criteria as your back catalogue, such as what Pangy has. D-Live donos have changed. Lemons are gone. What? Really? Lemons are gone? Lemons are gone? So what are you donating in? I mean, I don't want to dip too far into that right now, Dale. I'll have a look at the end of this. That's interesting. D-Live donos are gone. So what are you donating in? Interesting.
Yeah, Cons and I are like yin and yang. And I think I know the camera is a tool that allows me to approach people. And in a way, I sort of think, oh, geez, I'm a bit of a voyeur. Like I sort of stand,
to watch.
I stand in the background and capture these moments. But I'm confident. I've gained the confidence over time to sort of get in there and get the angles that I want. But I'm also aware that there are people that want to take photographs at events like Belco or
hey, thanks for following,
when
Andre.
Bondo Bolarama
Cheers, man.
Happened, and I'm hopeful that I was conscious enough, and I would get out of the way of the general public that were close, like able to put their camera underneath the railing, and I certainly wasn't that full of myself and go, I'm king shit and I've got the platform pass and I'll just barge and do whatever I want to do. So hopefully
he's never had that vibe about him, Pangy, never. In fact, like I said, with that photo he took of me, I didn't even know he was there. I mean, I knew he was there, but I didn't know he was taking photos of me. It's so subliminal that it's there, that it's happening. Yeah, never been like that.
Courteous, and even that photograph of Mike O'Mealy doing the taking the photo of Lance at Belco, like I wasn't going to barge, and I just looked at another option to get what I was hopeful would be a representative photograph and a photo that does Lance justice with what he was doing, and also the guys that organised Belco, like to show the crowd as well. Yeah. But and I think I was hopeful that I'll get a few shots that magazines might like, but I think I'm only now realising that thankfully I've taken enough variety of images of skateboarding in Australia, and hopefully being a Canberran through and true, that putting Canberra on the map, and if I'm lucky enough, or if the planets align, I'd like to approach either the National Museum of Australia or the National Library and say, look, I've got a book that's published.
Yeah.
I've got an archive
of
film and digital images.
Yes, Pangy.
A hoard of other associated things, and that's why a friend of mine sort of suggested
It's got to be. This stuff has to be preserved, man. This has to go into the archives. If it costs money to preserve stuff, it costs money to archive things. You got to keep them in cool environments. Blah blah blah. Oh, whoops. I guess that's Portia's didn't tie her bracelet up. Sorry about that, Poops. They all came off. You didn't tie the knot at the end? What the hell? All right, sorry about that. I refreshed the emotes are locked. Sub badge is also missing. Okay, I'll look into that later, man.
Maybe the museum, because they'll be interested in all the other paraphernalia.
Yep.
And so look, when the time's right, would you like to be the custodians for my archives, and then have it in for perpetuity for people to look at, and it might be the next Mr. Squiggle exhibition at the National Museum.
So keen to see
that looks so.
They have to do that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go next week.
Yeah, we're going to take the grandkids there.
Yeah.
Just those hurry up.
Yeah, upside down. It's so good.
And I think there's been some great graffiti of Mr. Squiggle. I've seen some really good.
There's down at the Canberra Storage World, sort of is managed by like one of the writers. And it's sort of like, I guess, like it's to me, it looks like the new Hall of Fame in Canberra.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got some really like prolific riders down there and international visitors, and it's sort of like that's where that Mr. Squiggle
Okay.
piece is down. You should go have a look.
Oh,
it's
is
near
that-
the Canberra Indoor Sports.
Yes, yes, yes.
Inflatable World.
Yes, yeah.
I wonder how many not lemons does Gibbs have in his D-Live chest. Oh, dude, I can tell you. My channel, probably not much. 84. 84. Not many. Not many at all.
Which also I recommend taking the grandkids to. That's yeah. But yeah, it's sort of this. It's become this like outdoor open air like graffiti gallery. It's really
I've
impressive.
actually looked at that to take some photographs of cars and bikes and things.
Yeah.
That's really nice artworks along there.
I'd pretty much love to get that dude on as like a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, that's like the
Nearby.
old ShopRite. Like that's an archival photo. But
Wait,
if you
did I
look
say
on,
84?
Like, my Instagram.
I meant none. It's only a bit corrupt? Serious? That's lame. Can I just pause to point out that I just opened my chest, which is the reward mechanism on DLive, and this tool, it's only a bit corrupt, claimed it. Why would you do that, dude? Why would you do that? It's only a bit corrupt. Why would you come in? Look, I'll show you this how it distributed. Why would you do that, man? I just got here. Yeah, so why would you claim the chest? Why would you jump in and comment and then claim the chest if you've only just got here? You're not part of the stream. I've been live for almost 2 hours, and you've just chatted once because the chest got opened and you claimed it? Really? I wouldn't claim it. If it was me, I'd be like, oh, I'm not touching that because it's for the loyal viewers, it's for the people that are in this stream. But you went and claimed it? You should give that. You should give those 24 lemons. You should divide them up between Dale and B Nutzer because they're the two that are here, and you just flew in at the last second. If you had any conviction, you'd just give those straight back to Dale and to B Nutzer because that's lame, man. And that's been a problem with DLive from the get-go, how that works. But anyway, let's continue on.
I shared like the Mr. Squiggle piece that was done by Seth.
Mayunis. And now I've closed DLive down so I can't see who's doing that. Let me just pop DLive back out.
Yo. Wow. And there
Who did that on?
the joy.
Sophia over on Kick. Ah, shit. Is that Sophia with 2 A's? Sophia. Interesting. No, 1 A. So who was that? And I'm assuming that might be the lovely Sophia. It's only a bit corrupt donated those lemons. Don't donate them to me. Go and give them to Dale and give them to B Nutzer. Don't give them to me. I opened the chest to get rid of them. So give them to Sia. There it is. You know what? Good riddance. It's only a bit corrupt. Get out of here. They'll come back.
One of the riders. Yeah.
I'm really impressed with
It's like a new spot. Because I
How
feel
lame.
like-
How lame. Sorry. How lame is that? This person comes into the chat, the chest gets opened, they chat so that they receive the rewards. When I say, that's pretty lame, you shouldn't have claimed those rewards, give them to those that deserve them, they donate 2 lemons and then say, I'm out, see ya, and they bail. That's the problem with DLive, right? Just these chest hunters. Lame. So lame. Yeah, so lame. So lame. So lame. I thought they fixed that shit on DLive. Apparently not.
Woden Drains was getting trashed and like a lot of panels were getting destroyed, and this area is sort of like it's sort of a permission self-managed spot by one of the older riders. So everything's like pretty much untouched, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, the other spot that I
Andre Gams. That's super lame. Yeah, man. How you doing on kick? Yeah, that's pretty lame, hey. Like that shit was supposed to be nailed down from D-Live's perspective a long time ago. They didn't fix it. That's why I don't do D-Live or the trolls. I mean, the trolling doesn't really exist much anymore because there's no one over there, but certainly that treasure chest thing has been ripe for the picking, and I thought they fixed it. And I don't understand what Dale's saying, that they've taken lemons away. Like, what are they donating there if they're not lemons? Is there a new currency? I have to look into that. I'm so enthralled with this Pangy interview, so I'm just going to continue on.
look at for the artwork, and mainly because it's near where the Woden skate park used to be. It's the squash courts. I think
that's those guys as well. Like it's all
those works are just amazing. So
Hey, Sophia. Follow us. You must follow the channel for 2 minutes before you can chat. What a stupid rule. No, I instigated that rule because we used to get trolled super hardcore on Kick. Yeah, we used to get trolled. Someone would follow and immediately start spamming crap in the chat. So we put a limit. And what happens is trolls that come in and create an account, they can't be asked waiting 2 minutes to comment. So they make the account and they forget, they never come back. So we put in this 2 minute delay, and that seemed to fix it. Sophia, I'm going to assume I'll just check. I'm going to assume it's you, but I'm just going to check. Let's continue on.
maybe in the portraits, I think I put it in there. Back in the day, so this is back in the 80s. I took a portrait of one of the Canberra skaters. His name's called Locker, and Locker, and we used to call him Lurch. So he's like this really, really tall.
This is the first we've seen Sophia on Kick. What's with the extra A at the end of your name? Sophia. You should put another letter at the end there. I'd suggest an S, maybe.
Tall, lanky skater. And there was a graffiti artwork, which was this guy standing with his hand down, and so I got Locker to lean up against the wall, and it looked like the graffiti guy was like pushing him down on the head. I think it's that's the
van.
Yeah, and the one before it has got Lenny in the background. So look at how cool is that car? There's Lenny. That's Lenny.
That's dope.
So that's the photograph of Barry and Lenny with the Sid Tapia.
Father's son.
Yeah.
Cut from the
Sophia's already taken. Is that right? See, Kick's growing so quick, man. All the handles are gone. Sophia. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Just the most beautiful people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this photo.
Yes. So Matt Hoffman.
One of my favorites.
Matt Hoffman was one of Sydney's better skaters back in the 80s, and if people visit Belco Skate Park, they will notice the cockroaches all over the park, and that's my. But I think that's the extent of my my graffiti expertise, doing stencils. But I've. And I keep on expanding the cockroach infestation at Belco over the years. And what I like about it is it doesn't scream skateboarding. So people are like, what the hell's going on with these cockroaches? And they're all. And the really nice thing is I do the outline like a shadow, and then the cockroach is done in black over like different fluoro colours, and it really pops.
Yeah.
So Matt was sponsored by Cockroach at the time.
Sophia, I don't know how to use this app. Literally only downloaded it because of the delay on YouTube. When I post a comment on your stream, it takes forever to show up on the screen. YouTube's famous for latency. Kick is a little bit less of a delay. So you're on the right track there. There's not much to it. You'll start accumulating points and then you can trigger alerts and stuff. But at this stage, you're so new. So just the more you comment, the more you accumulate the points or the kicks. I think they kind of call them kicks.
And I knew they were all going to be.
Andre just uses Kick on a browser. Okay, the app's pretty clean though. The app is a pretty cool experience. Can I donate with those points? So there are still no donations.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
But you can do what Dale just did, triggering alerts. Can I buy donuts with these points? You cannot buy donuts.
down at Curl Park in Manly. So I went to one of those novelty shops and picked up a handful of plastic cockroaches. But we got these great photos.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Matt's no longer with us. So
Kick is cool for the alerts. Yeah, Kick is. I'd encourage people to watch on Kick because of that alert feature for sure.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing. Sophia, type or Dale will do it, but you'll see what Dale does. I don't believe in apps that take up storage on my phone and infiltrate my privacy. Interesting. Yeah, if you just type what Dale did, you'll get to the shop as well.
That's the one.
yeah. And I mean, they're just like, sometimes I come up with these harebrained ideas. And I suppose that's a great thing about skateboarders. It's like, oh yeah, that's
for
cool.
anything.
I'm up for it. I mean, that sequence of Mike D and Ian Purvis. So, like again, all the kids like, oh, can we talk to these demigods? Like, and they're just cards. Yeah, there's no effort required to get skateboarders to ham.
Who is this Jive Turkey? That's a strange phrase. Are you referring to the guy who's being interviewed? His name's David Pang. He's a skateboard photographer. He's about to release a book called 6060. He's iconically the best skateboard photographer, one of the greatest skateboard photographers on the planet, and definitely Australia's premier skateboard photographer for decades now.
Things up. Again, I'm just so glad that I took these sorts of photographs. And if film wasn't so expensive, I think I would have taken more. Now in the day with digital, you can just shoot like crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the photograph that Sid Tapia.
What a beautiful group of people you are. You are good. I wish I looked like you.
Sophia's got a split right on that. What a beautiful bunch of people you are.
Painted.
Yeah, painted on the bottom, which is just such a nice tribute to Mike D and for his family. But,
Yeah, so good.
what we're talking about?
Man,
We're
there's,
talking about the graffiti
there's too much dead air in this interview. The hosts aren't doing a great job of that.
and Locker.
Locker, yeah.
And just and I thought I'd taken the photograph in colour because the graffiti was colour, and so I was going through all my colour files. I think I've got to find this photo.
Jive turkey, it's an American phrase, an old American phrase. I'd say you're one jive turkey. I've never used that phrase before.
I'm with it, and then I was scrolling through some black and white images,
It was there.
out it jumped, and that's like 40 years later.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never printed the photograph. So it's funny how the memory, the database, you think, oh yeah, I know, and I had the shot in my mind. The shot was perfect to how I'd photographed it, but in my mind it was in colour.
Yeah.
But on the film it was in black and white. Yeah.
Have you ever chosen to not shoot something because it didn't feel right ethically or creatively?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
Can you
so-
expand?
I went up to Brisbane for a holiday and for a skate, and they had a Belco-ish type event at Pizzey Park, which is another iconic park on the Gold Coast. I'll just grab some water.
And by the way, thank you everyone in the comments for
Elsa, how you doing, Elsa, on D-Live? The term jive turkey originated in African American vernacular in the early 70s. It's a slang term used to describe a stupid, slow, inept, or otherwise worthless person. Wow. And that's what Andre was saying about David Pang? Okay. Interesting.
commenting because it's awesome to see. There's lots of chatter and these
fantastic.
comments like "This is awesome" and these photos are great. So yeah, thank you everyone
thank you,
watching
everybody.
live. It's
Wait, was this
great to see you
was
tuning
this
in.
stream? Was this streamed live? This wasn't live. This wasn't streamed live. Oh, I mean, they probably just re-uploaded it, but there you go.
And
Yes. So the folk at Pizzey Park held an event and was on Halloween. So everyone got dressed up in Halloween costumes and things. And Queensland skater Matt Munford, who's was one of the Australia's top skaters. And
Wait, there's Elfstar talking about they got rid of lemons on D Live. Is this? I mean, I'm going to have to look into this. So what's happening when people are donating on D Live? What am I receiving if not lemons? I don't have access to the Discord anymore, so I didn't see any announcements.
living in the States and sponsored by quite a number of companies, was wearing a Jason Friday the 13th hockey mask thing and skating, and I think he had like an axe, like a plastic axe. Anyway, he was skating, and because his vision was slightly impaired with the mask, he came up and did a trick, hung up, and just splattered on the concrete and cracked his head open.
Oh,
and it was just like, do I
Yeah.
photograph it or not?
Yeah.
And I didn't.
see, if that happened to me, I'd photograph. I'd document 100%, because the documentation of such an incident could prove vital for something down the line, possibly, some kind of memorial. If the person died, could prove vital if someone else was at some fault, someone else foul play, for instance. They don't make any announcements anyways, Gibbs. You missed nothing. Okay, cool. Same as it ever was. Yeah, but in terms of not photographing something for an ethical reason, in this instance, I would have shot the photograph 100%. And then if the person did die, I don't think this person did die, but if they did, I'd then turn the photographs over, the originals, like the source, to the parents of the deceased and let them decide what they want to do with it. Not quite the same scenario, but a similar kind of scenario. Right through here on this side of this house, our neighbors lost their house to a fire. The whole place burnt to the ground. And I documented it with multiple cameras, shooting from my bathroom window, also one camera outside roving around, and another camera locked up on a fence. Documented the whole thing from the moment the fire kind of started. It's 3 o'clock in the morning until sun up, and the whole place burnt down to the ground. Now I went over and said to them, "Hey guys, if ever you need it, I've got the document of that fire happening. I've got all of the footage. If your insurance needs it, if you need it, whenever and however you need it, I'll give it to you." They said, "Thank you for doing it. We don't think we're ever going to require it, but thank you." So what I did was I filed it away on a hard drive. It's just listed as Wendy and Steve's house fire, and I've just left it there. If they ever want it, I give it to them. If they don't, it just sits on that hard drive. No one ever has to know about it. Yeah. But if you don't document, and then it turns out some foul play was at play, and they're like, dude, because imagine there was someone in the frame that nobody knew was there before, and something, I don't know, whatever, like it's there. So what alerts are there for different amounts? Elsa, I haven't looked into it at all yet. I haven't looked into anything to do with this lemon situation. The first I'm hearing about lemons missing on D Live is right now. And I'm still getting donated lemons. I don't understand what people are donating.
And then it's like, "Oh, did you get the photo?" Like a couple of days later, they're like,
see?
Yeah.
Did you get the photo? Like, what's going on?
Like he himself.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd appreciate that. But then, I guess it's like that internal dialogue of like, is this ethical?
Yeah.
Is this a last moment? Or like,
it was brutal. Like,
yeah.
skaters take some big hits.
Heavy hits.
They really do. I don't think there's mainly when people injure themselves, and it's just like, it's not the right thing. Actually, I did.
It's part of the game, though.
Bryce McLean, Newcastle skater, injured himself at Belco this year, and the St Ambulance people got him out and were fixing him and stuff. And I took it, and I know Bryce and I know his dad quite well, and I was taking some photographs, and the St. John's people go, no, we can't show our. That's almost like the dentist dad.
Yeah.
We can't take photos of us providing a service and blah blah blah. So, I tend not to take photographs of the skaters partaking in
extracurricular activities.
Yeah,
that's fair.
The after parties.
That's fair.
Yeah. Which and sometimes, but it is their sort of lifestyle and things. And I've quite often pondered. I've looked at.
Hey, Flowski, how you doing, man? Interesting. I didn't realize they changed stuff. There's tons of sticker gifts now instead of the old school. Okay.
The lifestyle and the risk taking that skaters
do.
do.
So for those who are researching it, what has replaced lemons on DLive? What is the in-app currency then if lemons have gone?
Both, certainly on the skateboard, but also in the way they
live their
life and their extracurricular activities. And I thought, man, I would be on a hiding to nothing if I was a team manager. I'd be. I'd have a cardiac arrest, and then it's like, but if you
there are still lemons, Flowski, but instead of one lemon, ice cream, etc., there's 20 different denominations, each with a sticker to match. Interesting. So they're all worth a different amount. It's still lemons, just no longer lemon, ice cream, and diamond. Oh, so they just changed the naming of them. They just changed the naming. So the same system, but just different name, same value, 0.0012 cents or something.
If you were to try and temper the individuals with their lifestyle and the way they live their life, I think it would adversely impact.
There's way more options
ability because that's just the people they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So,
different amounts, says Elfsar, and it's like more other platforms. They have a bunch of sticker gifts like Twitch and TikTok. Okay.
I've sort of navigated, and I'm a voyeur.
You're just there to observe.
Yes, I'm the mild-mannered. The event's over, and that's the other thing too. Like, by choice, I really admire street skating, but I tend not to photograph it at all anymore. And some of that is because the skaters, the photographers that are doing it are just so damn good at doing it. And I think most of them are somewhat younger than 60, so they've got the flexibility and the energy to run and carry all that photographic gear, whereas on a vert ramp or around a bowl, I can just plonk all my stuff down and away I go. And
you think it's a nice change flow? Yeah, okay. I'm stoked for it.
I get right into. I am a spectator that's taking photographs. So I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm usually hoarse at the end of a skate event because I almost get into it too much. I think if I didn't get so excited, I'd have more energy and most probably take more photographs. But I just love it. I'm just so privileged that I've had.
Benon, have you ever met this dude? Yes. So I'll just retell the story quickly for those that are joining us. This gentleman's David Pang. He's a skateboard photographer from Australia. Now, he's been in the forefront of skate photography for as long as I've been alive. In fact, when I was a kid, all of the posters on my wall from the magazines was this guy's work, more than likely. And so I've always known about him, and he's 10 years older than I am. So that's a huge gap within skateboarding, a generational gap like that, like a decade. That puts him way out of my friend zone, if you like, but everybody knows who David Pang is. And so when I was living in Adelaide, he turned up at a comp, one of the airbag landing comps. This is a series of comps that ran in Adelaide in South Australia. And he turned up there, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to get to meet David Pang. And I was like, hey, and I just met him and had a brief chat. And I just respected who he was and whatever, and, just nice to finally meet the person and have a few words and blah, blah, blah. And that competition came and went, and then a couple more years came and went, and then become friends on Facebook with him. And about a year ago, maybe 8 months ago, he just posted up a gallery from that era, and there's photos of me in it. And I'm like, fuck, what? David Pang shot photos of me? And and I was like, this is amazing. I did not know you shot those photos. I don't remember seeing a flash go off at that comp on me, and you took photos of me. Like, I'm like, wow. And so 10 years later, I have this great visual from that era, which arguably I'd regard as the highlight of my vert skating career. That's the best I ever got at it. I felt like I was good enough to compete, and I felt like I was at the peak of my vert skating. And there's a photo, I'll show it to you. And he took a photo of me, and let me bring up I contacted him and said, man, I want to buy that print off you, and I want to print it full size on my wall because it's a memory of that time of my life. How much do you charge? Can I buy it? And he would not take money. He gave it to me. He gave it to me for free. Check, and it's on my wall right now. I'll put on the NDI camera and take a look at this. I'm going to go outside of my framing here because up on the wall there above my bed, that's the image I'm talking about. That photograph, I'll go up closer to it, but I'm off mic, so it might be a little bit less audio. I'll talk louder. But that image there, ignore the reflection of the lamp there, but that is the airbag landing. I think it was 2004. And that's a big print. I mean, you can see how big a pillow is. That's a meter long or something. That's a big ass print. And I don't mind having a picture of me on my wall at the peak of my skateboarding career, thanks to David Pang. And he wouldn't take any money from me. And just a lovely dude. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, just a really nice guy. And like a pleasant surprise to get that photograph, to see that pop up on a gallery from David Pang. So I actually went down and met him and hung out with him. He invited me to his house and we sat down. He lives in Canberra, which is about an hour and a half from here, sort of south and inland, southwest. And I went down and saw him after a gig I was shooting down there. And we hung out for about 3 or 4 hours, and we basically did this interview that he's doing now. We did it just together, just talking about old school skateboarding, and he showed me his collections and paraphernalia, and just like an incredibly well documented. He like I document and I preserve. This guy has documented and preserved skateboarding in this country, the most finite detail you could possibly imagine. He's covered it all. And I'm so looking forward to his book coming out because I'm the first one to buy it, and he's coinciding it with his 60th birthday. Pretty rad. Nice guy.
The platform passes at the big events in the 80s, and fortunately, Chad and I've forgotten his name. How terrible. The other organisers of Bondi let me have
Use
access
the hole,
and
bridge the
so
hole,
I had
or fill the hole.
Fill the hole. Use the hole. Bridge the hole or fill the hole.
a seat in the house. Like I sort of sometimes forget how limited a view the people in the belches and in the scaffolding seating have in seeing the action in the bowl. And that's the nice thing about the vert ramp is you can stand back and still see what's going on the vert ramp. Super, super privileged.
Yeah.
Very cool. Following on from Sandra's question, and before I do that, Butcher wanted to shout out that he's in the chat. So thank you, Butcher.
Owen. He would be a good one to get in your art show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Butcher.
Yeah, I think it'll add another dimension to do skate art, deck art with some of my photographs in Adam's gallery. Yeah, and it's got the bar. It's got.
It's an incredible space, and it's like I think it will draw that crowd that would vibe what you have to display. Yeah.
But yeah, on you having the best seat in the house, and how do you see that it's kind of a partnership between the skater and the photographer, often getting the shot? And do you have any of those stories of, those hours there, or is it more? It's different at the events, obviously, but do you have any of those like long day sort of sessions?
Generally speaking, I don't. The shout outs that I would make.
That was a very strange question that guy just asked. I didn't think there was a question in it. It was a very odd set of words.
Canberra skater Blake Convey, we were almost on the same wavelength when we went to, and Blake was up for skating and could skate absolutely anything. So we would travel around Canberra and around Australia, or the east coast of Australia, and find places to skate. And we'll get to a spot that neither of us have ever been to, and almost within a few minutes go, oh, I reckon we should try, or I was going, being the art director, I think you should try this over there. And I was thinking the same thing. And he would damn well make it and make it look beautiful and only take a few shots. And the other skater who's like that now is my good friend Billy Harrison from Melbourne. Oh, there's Blake. Yeah, that's in his front yard.
Right.
Only just down the road from where I live now. Don't live there anymore. It's Billy Harrison. So Billy's another one of my mothers or brothers from a different mother. And I've been on so many epic skate journeys with him. And he actually took a photograph. So a bit of a sideline. So I used to contribute photographs to a magazine called The Concrete Wave. It was an American magazine. And it ran for quite a few years. And I got to know the editor-publisher, Michael Brook, quite well and would send him photographs, and a number of us would write stories for him. So I sent some photographs. We went to the Pothole, so the big full pipe up in the Snowy Mountains. So that was an epic trip. So that was Billy Harrison and his wife Leah and their two boys, Darij and Adam, myself, Jody, and our two daughters. So our daughters were sort of upper primary school age, and Cons and Gabby, and their two kids, Will and Adam, and we bumped into some other skaters that were doing more downhill sliding skating, and we were all staying at a caravan park, and sort of skated Jindabyne skate park, and was like, okay, let's do a trip to G-High. And for some strange reason, so Billy, Cons, and I went, and another Sydney skater, and we took Cons' kids, my daughters, and I don't think Billy and Leah's children went. Anyway, it was it was like 4 hours from Jindabyne, driving through dirt roads and things, and we were lugging all this gear down to this. It's a full pipe that's part of the hydro water scheme. So you had to walk down this dirt track and over these rocks and obstacles and things. And I think we stumbled across a brown snake or a red belly black snake and what have you. And then we had to tie up a rope and swing from the dam face across
to the other side,
to the opening of the full pipe. So the full pipe was this hole, and then it had a chute that went up. So if they ever let water go down the funnel into it, the water would spray up into the air and shower, rather than be just this huge jet of water annihilating the local environment. Anyway, so for some stupid reason, it worked out really well. I took it was on the Australia Day weekend, so I took an Australian flag and a flagpole, and Cons took a few beers with him, and we were all skating, and then Billy said, I'll take a photograph of you. And so I started skating, and for some reason Cons went to the edge of the full pipe and was holding the flag over his shoulder, and And Billy took quite a nice photograph of me, so I submitted that with a number of other photos. And a few months later, Michael goes, "Oh, Dave, just to let you know, you got the cover." And I was going, "Oh, fantastic! One of my photos got on the cover." And he's going, "No, dude, you're on the cover of the magazine." Me. I was just like, "What? Some part-time skater, full-time photographer?" Yeah. So Billy got the cover of, well, his photograph got the cover of the magazine, which was pretty super cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you have
but
a photo of that?
I've got a photo of it somewhere. I'm not sure if it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a quick search, but I couldn't find it here.
Yeah. So, but that was epic. Another story is a Barry and Lenny story. So in the early 2000s, after Dogtown and the Z Boys movie came out, there was this big groundswell of all these old school skating or us middle age skaters.
I just want to tell you how it feels. Who did that on D Live? I want to tell you how it feels. That was Dale? You should hear the things Dale's been saying. Interesting. Was that you, Dale? Just want to tell you how it feels. That was just Rev.
Wow. And
That was
therein
just
lies the
Rev.
joy.
Thank you, Just Rev, for the donation there. And Chunky Monkey with the follow on Kick. Thank you, man. Cheers, Azizes.
with a little bit more disposable income, and our imagination and aspirations far exceeded our ability. So we'd all buy up all these reissue skateboards and things, and they had a few across the world, but in Sydney, John Fox, who's very instrumental with pushing skateboarding in Australia and was the editor of Skating Life magazine. He organised an old school skate reunion. And so I think that's the first time I caught up with Barry. And he's from
Thanks, Flo.
the Wollongong area, and my brother lives down there as well. And he said, "Oh, David, like,
Cheers, Flo.
we got along quite well." And he goes, "Oh, David, we're going to go and skate this sort of secret spot tomorrow. Do you want to come down?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll come down. I'll go and visit my brother as well." So we anyway. So Barry's a Boilermaker and lived in Wollongong all his life.
Got to test some of the new Dono stickers. Mayonnaise. Wow. Just Rev, thank you for the whatever that is. Now they're not lemons and ice creams anymore, are they? Diamonds.
At the time, I'm not sure if they were still the BHP Steelworks. They had built these prefabricated these beautiful full pipes and lined them with a polyurethane. So this beautiful plastic type substance.
Yeah.
And so I had my wife and children with me. And we
come on.
Yeah, we cut the fence. Like I took my, primary school age daughter into the BHP Steelworks, and we just barged and skated this full pipe. So that was with Joel Webb was there. So he's a Canberra skater, like iconic Canberra skater. I got a photo of him on the cover of Skating Life magazine on article called "The Wheat Bix Kids" at the DIY Woden Skate Park. There he is there. Yeah, on the Santa Cruz there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately he's injured his knee now, so doesn't skate as much. But he just a beautiful, beautiful skater. And there's Mike D on at Charmwood in the Skating Life as well. Yeah, but how crazy! Like it was obviously when I had no sense, like enthusiasm and no sense. And
I feel like the kids would have loved it though at that age.
oh,
Wouldn't they? They would just
I think they would have. Yeah,
it was
but
an
it's just
adventure.
like, can you imagine this, like explaining to my wife?
Just a family outing.
Oh, that's
Cool.
yeah.
From
So
earlier.
see how it kicks up. So, Yeah, but apparently it's never had water. That's just a little bit of water trickling through, seeping through the surface. But it's never actually had heaps of water gushing out of it because there was some engineering fault with it. So, yeah, that's cons. Yeah.
Cool.
Whoa.
I think that's the photo that became the cover. So that's a Billy Harrison photo.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I think and I've done the right thing. I've given Billy the credit on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you've done such a good job at because often people save a photo but not the details of when and where and who's in it. Yeah. Makes it very easy to find
so much
stuff.
It's so much fun going back and looking. Like when was it? 2009. So, man, it's almost 30 years ago. Almost.
Crazy. Doesn't seem like that long ago.
It's fun going through it, but it's even more fun sharing it with other people and these sorts of photos with the people. Yeah, Con's with some colour in his beard.
Is that which one's you?
That's me.
So young. And like very clean skin.
The Bobsy twins. Can we do a deal for you? You want a pipe cleaned? Well,
That's so good. Well, we've been chatting for an hour and a half, but we can do some more. But just so you know, if there's any final questions to answer or final thoughts.
Did you want to show something from the album?
Oh yeah, I think I did speak. Now, if I turn this around,
I'll move the camera so you just do your thing.
let's. Oh, here we go. So, I mean, I could talk for hours with this, but this would have to be one of my favourite pages in my photo album, and lazily.
Daleski, it's good that a few people decide to document things. I agree, man. Yeah, I totally agree. It's funny, as I'm listening to him, I realize I've thrown out or I gave away a bunch of my skateboard stuff. Like I gave all of my magazines to another skateboarder, Mick Mulhall. I figured he would be able to preserve them better than I ever could. I had all the copies, all the issues of Skate and Life, most of the issues of Slam magazine, some Skateboard Australia, and some Perfect Transition. Gave them all to Mulhall. Stuff like stickers and old boards, I just threw them away. Whereas, Pangy kept it all. And, I mean, I preserve and document everything else, but that just kind of I never thought it would be a thing, right? I rode a Vision Gator, like an original Gator, and I never thought that would even, it's a thing now. Never was a thing then. It was just a skateboard.
I haven't updated or produced many photo albums in recent years, but when I was, and I think I've mentioned in the video.
That looks like Lance Mountain and Danny Way. That's Lance about to do an eggplant, and that's Danny Way at Festival Hall, Melbourne.
Snippet leading into this that thankfully over the years I felt I was so privileged to be able to take these photographs of some of the best skaters in the world. So if I knew they were coming back to Australia or I'd see them again, I would make sure I'll do 2 prints as a minimum of the photographs that I really liked and give them one. And I felt it was only fair and only right that they got a photograph.
What's poppin'? Chunk and Monkey, boards, trucks, wheels, bearings, all that stuff went in the trash, man. When they were used, they were thrown out.
That I was proud of. And then I would ask them if they'll be kind enough to
Now I'm thinking I might have got that wrong. That might be Chris Miller here on the right. Looks like Miller.
Sign the photograph for me. So I took this photo of Lance Mountain doing an eggplant. I think it was in 1988 down in Torquay at the second ramp right. And it wasn't until the early 2000s when I came back to Canberra and got back more into the skating scene and knew what was going on because the internet existed. And the other places that I was posted to didn't really even have skate shops. Anyway, so I knew Lance was going to be there and fortuitously bumped into him and got him to sign the Powell White Sword and Skull deck, which he did. He just did such a beautiful job.
Dale had a skateboard age 14, never quite got the hang of it. Right. Once I touched a skateboard, I would have been probably about 8 or 9. I used to just sit on it and bomb down the driveway. We used to go off ramps though, like make little wedge ramps with bricks and plywood, sitting down. And then I think when I was about 11, maybe 10 and a half, I realized that there's more to this than just fanging down the driveway and smashing myself up. So I ended up really getting into it and pursuing it, standing up and trying to learn tricks. I used to do like sequences on my driveway, like ride my driveway like it was a competition, and I'd hit different sections of the driveway and do different turns and stuff. Pretty funny.
Signing just below the skull, and I gave him the photograph, and he goes, "Oh, wow, that's the photo from the indie ad." I go, "Oh, no, it's not the photo from the indie ad." And he goes, "Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, this is way better. Like, I love this." So he took the photograph and he obviously signed it, as you can see in the photo album. And then about 6 months later, I got and how he got my email address, I've got no idea. But he emailed me and goes, "Oh, David, I'm involved in a project. This company wants to make collector cards, a bit like baseball collecting cards, and they're going to do it with skateboarders. And they want to do a Lance Mountain card, and I'd really like to use the eggplant photo. Would you allow them to use it? You know, you're not going to get any money for it." It's going, "Dude, like, if my photograph goes on a collector card, I'll be stoked. Like,
Yeah.
You know, could I possibly get a card off you?"
Wow, it kills me that people don't often pay for that kind of stuff. Like, why would they not pay the photographer? They're going to sell these as baseball trading cards. Why would they not pay the rights to license the image? That always pisses me off about photography. Delsky, would you say Tony Hawk is the Elvis of skaters? I don't think that's a very good comparison, because Elvis was just a guy who sung music and people liked, whereas Tony Hawk rode a skateboard but also pioneered skateboarding as a household name and made it into, you know, something that everybody can associate with, whereas music was already music before Elvis. Elvis just did it very well. So I don't think that's a great comparison. There are similarities there, but I wouldn't say it's the most. I don't think it's giving Hawk enough credit, or it's probably giving Elvis too much credit.
And
there's some similarities.
There's some similarities.
Collector card, and then last year, so Lance is a great artist, and he's got his own website and does his art and things, and he produced a series of collector cards. So one series of the collector cards are all done with his iconic Doughboy image. Mm-hmm. And he also does a series of artworks that are more sort of gritty, thrasher type, like with skeletons and things. And just out of the blue, I think he may have put my name on Instagram, and he was just showcasing the cards that he had produced, and he'd used the photograph again as the basis for one of the cards, and for some fantastic reason, he made the eggplant image the ace of spades. So as or Cons goes, "Dude, you've got the best card in the pack."
Yeah.
And and again, I sort of approached him and said, "Oh, look, you know, I'm going to put an order in for some cards, but with one of the packets, would you mind opening it and and signing it for me. So he was kind enough to do that, and he sent me the artwork as well, and signed it. So
Cool.
yeah, it's just nice. And then do the sort of.
Dale, the lady is a good interviewer, allows the guests to waffle on. I got to tell you, I don't think she's the host. I think she's also a guest. We couldn't work it out. I've not seen this Mustard Flats content before, but it looks like she's a guest. She's a guest host. And if you go back and watch the start of this, I found it infuriating for the first 10 minutes of this interview. It was so difficult to work out what's going on. It was a weird beginning. It definitely got progressively better as time went on, but the starting of this was super rough, and it was a hard watch. But you think she's good at, okay, I mean, there's two takes there.
A wanky thing and try and put associated stickers to go with it. So still get excited with stickers. So.
Yeah.
But now with Instagram and things, like I used to take the scrapbooks to the skate parks and show so the skaters could see what was going on. But now it's like, here's my Insta handle. Just check it out there. But there's something nice about flicking through a magazine and through a photo album.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sort of funny. Like people like another story is in the 2000s, Mike McGill came to Australia and skated Bondi, and Mike McGill will be put down in skateboarding history as being the guy that changed vert skating. So
unlike me, for example, I answer for everyone, shut the fuck up, Dale.
He did the McTwist, the 540, which then became the basis for Tony Hawk's 900 that everyone talks about as well. So I hadn't seen Mike since the 80s. So he was skating and skating around, and a few days before Bondi, and I was there taking photographs. And I go, oh, Mike, well, when you finish skating, I've got a couple of photographs. I wouldn't mind showing you and getting you to sign and what have you. And like everyone was just on the platform. There was no media passes or anything leading up to Bondi. And I could sort of tell it was like, oh yeah, just like some telephoto or like lens from back in the crowd back in the day. So when he finished, I took the photographs to him, and it was great. It was just to see the look in his face. He goes, oh fuck, oh wow.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really nice. And similarly, I got to
Sticker
know,
removed, Elstart. Sticker removed. What one was that?
Got to know Jeff Grosso quite well as well. And Jeff was one of those more adventurous souls in skateboarding, or skated hard and party hard as well. And so got to know him quite well. And when I gave him photographs, he was like so appreciative. He was going, oh,
one of my stickers.
They
removed my stickers as well as my clips. Shit, man. What else is left, D-Live? No Discord, no stickers, no. What else did they remove? My stickers. What did I just say? I can't even remember what I just said. Stickers, Discord, and something else. Lemons are gone. I don't know.
I haven't kept anything from back in the day. And
clips. They got rid of the clips. Yeah, there's Mike McGill at Arendelle.
Lots of things. So he was really appreciative of that. And then the really nice thing is
that one still works.
When he did pass away, and Thrasher did a tribute to him in the magazine, they obviously spoke to Jeff's partner and family, and went through his archives, and they used one of the photos I'd given Jeff from back in the 80s.
I made a clip earlier, you pud. Look, to be completely honest, I don't care about D-Live in that regard. I'm not going to go and look through clips now. We did years and years of clips, and then D-Live just deleted them all. So I'm not going to – I don't care for the clip feature on D-Live. It's nice that they've implemented it, but I don't trust them. Why would we build up a whole series of clips for them just to get rid of them? There you go. It'll be deleted in 3 months. So they only leave them for 3 months? Pfft, whatever. That's dumb.
Skating in Torquay in the tribute in the Thrasher magazine, of which Michael Burnside, I'd love to get a copy of that Thrasher sometime down the track. But but that's if I get a copy, that's great. But it's just really, really nice that with all the photographs they could have selected, they either picked one because Jeff had it in his collection and it still measured up to all the other iconic photographs that they would have had the choice of using. Yeah. Which is, really nice.
Yeah.
So stories for days, I think. And I just think thanks should go to Nick as well for
the video.
Doing
video was so good.
Mustard Flats. Like one other story. So I did, leading up to this, I listened to some of the podcasts and was super impressed with the Hands Like Houses podcast and sort of joined the dots and know Timothy who plays in the band. But that was a really, really good interview. And then saw the history of Kingsley's.
Yeah,
chicken.
that was so good.
And the connection there is one of the first Kingsleys was at Woden Plaza, so near where the Coles and Woolies is, but outside. And back when we had the little local skate comps that Ian Purvis and Mike D held, if you were fortunate enough to get a place, you were the proud recipient of a Kingsley's chicken voucher and get like a family sized chips and a couple of pieces of chicken, and you were stoked. Yeah, like you were
Clip
king
it
of
or
the
it didn't
world. None
happen.
of this X Games stuff. It was like Kingsley's chicken, and
Pinnacle.
and we would skate, we would skate Woden Skate Park, and then where the club was, which is no longer there were these red curbs, so you'd sort of like skate the park, get burnt out for a while, go and skate the curbs, and then end up at Kingsley's and get Kingsley's chips and chicken, and it's iconic. And even with most of the skaters, it's like, actually I was asked a question for a zine that a friend of mine's doing. It's like best place to go for a coffee, what are some of the best eateries? I was going, dude, skateboarder, number one spot is Kingsley's Chicken. And the most of the skaters from interstate.
Kingsley's.
Yeah, Kingsley's is it.
It's not just skaters though, it's like everyone.
Yeah,
like the hip hop community all love Kingsley's and they always take international
that
artists.
was so cool. Like the people that you interviewed talking about working at Kingsley's, and it was really good. And I think again, like my photographs and even the memorabilia, what you're producing, Nick, will become an archive of. It's almost like the social folk history of Canberra, not the glossy 7:30 report or state line stuff. This is like the real history of Canberra, straight from the source.
Yeah, straight from the source. No, thank you, and it's saying back to you, like it's. This stuff it will get lost if it's not catalogued, and hours goes into saving it, dating it, naming it, keeping it archived. So it's awesome to see.
I'm just super fortunate that I've got a wife that lets me indulge in the, and you've seen, like, it's not just skateboards. There's a few other things that I get fixated on, and you can never, one is never enough. So she lets me do that. She lets me go to the skateboarding events, and we've got two great kids and two great grandkids, and we're empty nesters now. So I've got the time.
Dalesky, I think Elfsar and Gibbs should do a call in sometime discussing art and its purpose. Interesting. I'll be down for that.
To focus on this book.
Yeah.
She lets me come and talk about myself for hours on end.
The way it connects people. Right on.
Great people.
We thank you very much.
And I think what Sancho wants to do is fantastic as well, because she's got all these connections.
Again,
and
what's the
interesting
word
people.
Fortuitous. I've got hair in my mouth, so I've been fortuitous with the store, and it's just kind of like all the people I've met, and Nick and I were saying how, like, sometimes when you meet someone from certain people from a community, sometimes it can be a bit gatekeepy, but you've always been so welcoming. like
Oh, thank you.
giving an insight into all of this. And I remember when I first met you through the chop shop and stuff, and I sort of was just like, hey, do you want to put your photos up on the wall? And you're like, yes, 100%. Like it's you've always been so open.
Well, again, you must be a strange person if you are a voyeur but you don't want to share, especially when it's things like skateboarding and But I love sharing it and getting if I'm happy with the image.
Yeah.
Hopefully other people enjoy it as well.
What about art and porpoises? I volunteer as MC. Promise I won't talk over you all. Maybe. You can't help yourself, Dale. You can't. You know you
Makes them
can't.
happy and if it promotes and we get more skate facilities or more graffiti spots,
Dolphins.
even better. Because there's a really good quote and from being a preacher now from Churchill. But when he was Prime Minister in the Second World War was happening, and obviously money was tight and they were putting money towards the war effort. Churchill was still putting money towards cultural endeavours, so be it music, art and what have you. And people in his cabinet going, Winston, what are you doing? Like, we've got a water fight. And he goes, if we don't nurture our culture and who we are as a people, then what are we fighting for? And I think again, I'm now I worked for Defence as a photographer, and then was fortunate enough and privileged to work at the gallery, which was fantastic. And I'm working for Defence now, and I think I'm quite comfortable and I'm happy that I work for Defence because the crazy way this world is, unfortunately, and I think it's really unfortunate that you've got to have a credible defence force to keep the quality of life that we've got in Australia. And I think, bringing up river in Canberra and in Australia, I mean, winters are challenging, but I love the four seasons, and myself with my daughters and children as well, that we are so fortunate here. And like you sort of said, like being in Canberra, got access to spray paints, camera gear, internet and all those sorts of things. We've just got so many opportunities here in Australia and in Canberra.
Absolutely. Well, we'll thank you again, and everyone stand by for the book, because there's a lot of people in the comments of this and the video looking forward to seeing that book, so we can't wait. And
there's no turning back now,
committed.
and that's the great thing. I've got to, there's no turning back, so it's got to happen.
But thank you both, and stay tuned. We'll be back for more episodes, and we'll catch you soon.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Mustard Flats, David Pang interview. Now, I am just messing around something there on my chat here. We're going to, by the way, just to give the full props to that interview, I did talk relatively harshly about that Mustard Flats podcast at the beginning. I did find the first 10 minutes to be quite frustrating. As that moved in and moved on, it became a very enjoyable watch, and I'm stoked that we did watch it all. Not everybody's cup of tea, I guess, but that's definitely something I wanted to watch, so I was being a little bit selfish about it, but I wanted to sit through all that. We are now at the end of it. However, Sophia did text message me, and she said just some constructive feedback. This blue and purple background you have on your live streams makes it difficult to read the comments on the screen, the names of the people posting the comments, especially when you're watching the stream on a phone like I do. My eyesight is very good, and I sometimes struggle to read the comments against that background. So when that was just wrapping up there, I was taking a quick look at the options to make the chat look a little bit more punchy on that scene. And let's just have a look at this interaction here. I made it blue. I don't know, that looks kind of cleaner, I guess, the blue background. What do you guys think? Blue looks better? Sophia is right about this. Or we could make the font larger. There are ways to do a background better than what I can see there. That background, I kind of want to, if I'm going to do a background, I'm going to do it differently, I think. I might try adding a solid color here. Solid color, color source. I'll just call it background for behind or background for chat. I think this is better to do it off. Just need to decrease the vibrancy or saturation of the chat. I can see it fine on my 50-inch TV, but if it's hard to watch on a screen, yeah. Let's add a black background and then see if. Oh, did blue work? Blue worked though, didn't it? That's a full black page. I know I'm still here, but I'm just adding this. Background here. Elsa, you say change the background, decrease the vibrancy or saturation of the background. Yeah. So I've got it now as a blue color, and what I'll do is I'll just take. Because what I was doing there was interacting with the chat itself. Let me just go back to the chat, Beamstream chat, and interact. And I'll just get rid of this background here, page background. I'll just get rid of that. Or maybe instead we could maybe increase the message background. That's the color. I think that might have been better right there. Yeah, that puts them in a black. That might be all we have to do, right? Instead of adding this blue background behind it, just make the text stand out more on their little speech bubbles. I think black, it's too solid though. I like it, but I don't think it needs to be that solid. I'll just drop it down a little. It's better, Dale? Yeah, cool. I'll drop it back a little. That looks a bit cleaner. I'm a black box. So that already is a large font. Show background texture. I don't want a background texture though. That looks kind of nice, I think. Large font size? What's small? Wow. Okay, it needs to be even larger. Colored names. All right, I think that's done it, right? And that way I don't need that blue box that I just made. Just get rid of that. That's rubbish. Solid is easier. You want me to go full solid? Let's go. Let's take a look at how message background. Wait. That's wrong. Message background. Go close to solid. It's not 100% solid. I never like fully solid colors, but that's definitely much cleaner, right? Much cleaner. Now that'll change it here as well, but that's okay. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's better. I love these constructive criticisms from people, especially when it's coming from someone who I respect their views, such as Sophia. There was one other thing I thought we could do. Beamstream chat. Interact. There was something else here. Colored names. UniChat. Platform logo. Message tint. That's interesting. Message tint. Message tint. Oh no, that takes away the colors of the UniChat. The logos. Platform logo. What is default though? Default. Oh, that's just white. We go platform logo. I think that pretty much covers it. Sophia is biased. She is. She certainly is. God bless. Okay, so with that in mind, we did say we'd take a look at these new DLive lemon situations. So let's bring the DLive machine down here. What is all this? Oh, wow. Look how many there are. Holy shitballs. Look how many hearts, lollipops. I'll make this as big as possible so we can really see it. Hearts are worth 1. Lollipops worth 5. Little star is worth 10. Paper crane is worth 50. Rose forever is worth 100. Drumbeat for 200. More. Fireworks for 500. Supercar for 1,000. Private jet for 10,000. Applause for 20. Rose for 1. High for 1. Apple for 5. Ice cream for 5. Ice cream still exists. Heart U for 10. Sunday for 20. Super battery for 20. All ears for 50. Wishing star for 100. Shout out for 100. Confetti for 200. Pearl for 200. Carousel 500. Legend crown 1,000. Hot air balloon 5,000. Super yacht 50,000. Castle something for 100,000. Wow. Yet no lemons. Interesting. Yeah. Is there anything on the homepage for this? No more ninja guineas, no more ninja stuff. Patriot Soapbox News on the wheel. Useless Crayon Eater. Cam Views. Orakio. MC Dirty Work. So nothing about this. Nothing about this on DLive. Okay. Lemons. Oh, that's just searching channel names. Nothing about this. Gibbs, there's porn, be careful. You know, I've heard people say that. I've never seen it, Elfsar. I've never seen porn on DLive. But I'll jump off just in case. There was a place to find it though. Mature? I better be careful. Mature or wasn't it Movie World or something? Movie World. Someone told me Movie World. Movie World. Music, family, chatting, family podcast, IRL. IRL. I don't see any porn. Sleep streams. The DLive Discord? What's that? Where's the porn? I really want to see it. I really want to see it. I don't believe it because I've heard people saying that they've got hardcore porn on DLive and I don't believe it until I see it. It's Good Morning Coffee Land over on the Discord, Flowski. Yes, it is. Oh, by the way, did that not change it? That didn't change. Oh, no, I've got two. Sorry, my bad. Hold on a second. I didn't change the chat here. I've got two chats on the screen here. Interact, customize, message background. Why is it red? I thought it was black. Okay, it's black. I forgot that I had two different chats going on here. That's pretty similar. So I'm still looking for that porn. I haven't seen things that I so wish I could unsee on DLive. What category? Wasn't Movie World? By the way, check this out. When you scroll through, I'm still there as a crypto superstar. I've still got the crypto superstar / on the side there. I seen porn on DLive on the weekend. Really? What category? Where do I have to go to find it? And I'm not just talking about finding porn on the internet. I'm talking specifically about hardcore porno on the DLive platform. I haven't seen it. Everyone's been saying it's happening. I haven't seen it. I'm scrolling all the way through and I'm not doing it on scene in case it pops up, but I haven't seen anything even close to it. In fact, I'd say this is pretty tame, everything that I'm seeing here. It's so wrong that they're letting it happen. Yeah. Are you good, Flack? Yeah, I'm good. Are you good, Flack? I don't see it. I just scrolled all the way down. Okay, I'm going to scroll all the way back up just to show you how far I've scrolled. No porno. No porno. I scrolled pretty far down and didn't see anything. So I don't know if you guys are making that up, but I've never seen it. Every time I've come in to look for it, there's me again. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Not saying I don't believe it, but I don't see it. But I'm going to get out of here now. And yeah, the chat looks way better like that, doesn't it? The chat looks heaps better. Damn, that looks way nicer. So much cleaner with that black background. What was I thinking? Be good to make it just slightly larger, like the font. Can I just drag the handle out? If I drag that handle out, just a little bit larger, right? Like, I reckon that, and then I'll just morph the height of it. 700, 780. Properties, height of 700. But now it's squashing it. No, I don't want to do that. Hey, nice. Flowski. I'll leave it as it is. Hang on, properties. So what happens with an alert for an old nomination? An odd nomination? An alert for an odd nomination? Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question though. Does that mean you got to go and change all your alert setups? Like if I go to my channel, where are my alerts? Oh, that's all in Tidy Labs. That's all Tidy Labs, right? Oh wait, X preference, is that? Oh wait, they turned that off on me again. They turned that off. I've always had that on. They turned it off. Okay, so sorry, I'll go and have a scroll down now. No way Tidy Labs is part of this. I mean, that's where the alerts are triggered from before. And Tidy Labs is gone. I'm sure Tidy Labs is gone, right? Tidy Labs. Tidy Labs is done for, right? Done and dusted a long time ago. TidyLabs.stream. I'm so glad I finally backed the order being in the loop a while ago. This shit's dead for sure, isn't it? Log in with DLive, right? This is dead for sure. Ah, seriously? I've got to... I don't want to do this login. No, I'm not doing that. Not doing it. Not giving Tidy Lads my email address anymore. I was scrolling down after I tagged Xtag on to see. I still don't see any porn at this stage. No. Don't even see any bikini streams or anything. So I've got Xtag, allow Xtag content. Stripe just terminated DLive as well. Did they really? Uh-oh. No more payment processing, huh? So who's the payment processor of choice now if Stripe is out? I'm scrolling pretty far down here, folks, and I'm not seeing any porn at all. I kind of want to see something just to prove you guys right, but there's nothing. Gash. Gash is the payment profile processor. I'll show you how far I scrolled down. I scrolled all the way down to no more data. I'm at the end of the freaking website. No more data. Look, I scrolled all the way down. Didn't get any porno. Scrolled all the way to the bottom. Didn't get any. Wasn't there a category called Movie World that was the one that I had to check out? Movie World. Here's Movie World. Look, Movie World. This is the one that I was supposed to be in, right? So I'll just check that out. No. No. Anime. I see it. I see. Can I show this? I can show this if I cover up this part. So bottom left-hand corner. That's just a still image. There's no boob visible. Someone's doing something. There it is. So let me just check if that's actual porn. Please select your age group. I already did that. I'll just mute the audio. Hey, Drumzilla's in the house. How you doing, man? What's cracking, Drumzilla? Video failed to load. HDX ad. There's an HDX ad in front of it. Video failed to load. Auto source. You know, Drumzilla, it's been a while for you being here on my channel. There's porno on DLive these days. The times have changed, but it's not loading. It's just giving me a failed loan. Is it XXX porn? I don't know. It won't load. Full on hardcore. It's X-rated porn. I'll tell you. Okay, I can show you this. It's not porn right now. Oh, it's not porn. It's really sketchy playback. Source quality. So what? Someone's just broadcasting this, and there's an HCX ad pops up over the top. They're monetizing this shit. DLive is monetizing hardcore porno on their website. Classic. But not doing a great job of it. Isn't the BTF file system, isn't Justin's son, doesn't he have a hand in this? That's crap. Okay, so that didn't work. I can't get it to load, but that is obviously porn, right? So I'll keep scrolling through Movie World and see if I can't come across some more. Oh no, I got all the way to the bottom. Nothing more there. That's the one I was watching. 61 viewers. Yeah, right. Movie World. Well, you could say the golden era of DLive is upon us once more. If you can broadcast full hardcore porno and monetize it on the platform, shit me. I mean, I wouldn't be the one to say anything against this in the Discord because you might get slapped around. Don't do anything. Never say anything against anything DLive does. Never. As soon as you start saying anything critical about the platform, bam, they'll kick you right up and kick you off. So don't go on and do that. But if you want to broadcast whatever you damn well please, you're allowed to. I may or may not have some screenshots, clips. Post them in my Discord, Dale. Post them in my Discord. I'll happily check them out over there. By the way, I love this chat now. Thank you, Sophia, for letting us know. I have a TikTok heart thing too. Right. Hey, folks, I'm out of here. Catch you all on the next stream. Thanks for hanging out with me for a while.